Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the city of Palatka, Florida. A city commission meeting on July 24th, 2025 at 6 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. We will start with the invocation by Pastor Mulberry, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance from Commissioner Davis. Please stand.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you again for this opportunity to come before your presence. We thank you for this time of sharing. Pray, God, for the wisdom that is needful to move the city in the right direction. We pray, God, that you will give wisdom on this council, that your people may be blessed. We ask, God, for your guidance. We need your directions in all that we undergird to do for your glory. Continue to bless us in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Campbell,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Here.
Commissioner Borum,
Present. Present.
Mayor Carrera.
Present. We have quorum, thank you. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes from June 4th, 2025, June 18th, 2025, and June 26th, 2025?
Make a motion that we accept the approved minutes from June 4th, 18th, and 26th of 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you.
I have opposition.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to say,
Opposition?
opposition, June 26th, there need to be some corrections. Spoke to the city manager and the clerk, in reference to them. I didn't see the corrections recorded and submitted. And let the commission know, there was a lengthy discussion in reference to cease and desist that was not reflected in the minutes, as if that conversation did not happen during that time. So I brought it to the attention to the clerk and the city manager. And I don't see where there's any correction, Madam Manager. And I know it was discussed because it's on the agenda again tonight. Do you recall, Madam Manager?
Of course, I do. Yes, and I did meet with city clerk and asked to have the discussion inserted in. I'm looking to see where that is put in, maybe not, it is there only where it says Commissioner Jones inquired whether a motion could be made to issue a cease and desist order. Representing attorney. You can make a motion and second and take a vote if you like. I think from what I've heard is that the consensus, at least from the commissioners who have been speaking, is to send the cease and desist. Despite the discussion on motion was made regarding cease and desist action. But what Commissioner Jones is saying is that there really should have been much more information in the minutes related to the discussion, I believe. City Clerk, is that where you added in information?
Is that sufficient?
So therefore, can we pull it back, please?
If she says, the Madam Mayor said sufficient, it's sufficient.
I feel it's sufficient.
It wasn't in there at all.
Oh,
And I
it
didn't.
wasn't at first, it wasn't.
Right.
Correct. And that was us doing the correction after Commissioner Jones made the comment.
Okay.
Then I made certain that the city clerk did at least put in the notes, the discussion itself.
I feel that's sufficient and
Okay.
thank you. I'm also going to pass the gavel to Commissioner Campbell. I want to make a motion before we really go into the heart of the meeting to remand the agenda to remove the blue crab discussion to a future date. We have a jam-packed agenda and I didn't feel that was urgent, but again, I'm making a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and it's been properly second to remove the discussion / direction item 6 of the Blue Crab Festival to a future date. Do we want to have this time certain or as staff sees fit?
I don't necessarily in the motion have a time certain, but we can move it, whatever the preference of the commission is. I didn't have a time certain. Right.
It's a super important thing, the blue crab. I think we need to put a date. I mean, and it need to be very, very soon, not to be pushed out too far again. Blue crab normally happens around May every year. And we are a few months after May now, and we still don't have a designation. So to push it out further, we need to do it sooner than later, in my opinion.
Okay,
Our next,
I'm willing.
28th, our next meeting, I believe,
11th.
is scheduled for August 28th.
28th.
City clerk, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, then I, again, amend my motion, to a date certain of August 28th.
Is that friendly to the second? We have a motion that's been properly,
It's friendly to the second.
Commissioner Jones second. Mhm. Is that friendly, Commissioner Jones?
I say yes, yes.
All
yes,
right, we
that's
have a
fine.
motion that's been properly second. We will open this up for discussion. Should there be any?
Yeah, just one question. I want to confirm that that means that no action will be taken until August 28th.
Correct. Correct.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? All right, we will call for a vote. All in favor, do so by saying yay. For the postponement of the Blue Crab discussion to the August 28th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, do so by saying nay.
Nay.
On to public recognition, presentations, speakers are limited to 5 minutes. Please be respectful of others. We're starting with the in the spotlight employee of the month. Ms. Jones.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, I'd just like to recognize our employee of the month here for the city of Palatka for, that has been recognized for the duties that she has been performing. Unfortunately, she already had obligations and will not be present, but I do want to take this opportunity to recognize our finance specialist one, Ms. Sherry Ramirez.
Thank you. We're going to have a Take Stock and Shoulder mentoring presentation. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, I was given the task to be a liaison between an organization and the city. And I was already a mentor with Take Stock in Children. So I asked him to do this presentation tonight. Let Ms. Serena Martinez give her presentation.
Thank you and good afternoon. Madam Mayor, Commissioner, I would like to present first our Vice President of Mission Programs for Goodwill. That is who our lead agency is for our nonprofit Take Stock in Children of Putnam County. He's going to share some really great details about what Goodwill has going on.
Thank you so much. Madam Mayor, Commissioners, thank you all so much for allowing us to be here. As you all know, along 19, our Goodwill store have our youth development and program there, Take Stock in Children, which you learn more about today. And then we also have our adult education there, where it's our 8-step program. And just want to continue to thank you for the DOC appropriation that we have received there. Currently, right now, we have 114 clients that's being served there that have received over 196 certifications. That's our adults, returning citizens, reentry citizens, and 80 of them have been employed. So that's just a quick update just on our adult education that we are doing over at Goodwill, and we'll just appreciate your continued support.
Thank you.
And now turning it back to Take Stock. Again, my name is Sereni Martinez. I am the Take Stock Mentor Coordinator for Putnam County. My role in the program is to recruit mentors to give some time back to our students. Right now, our lowest enrollment for Take Stock and children at a Palatka High is the smallest. This year, it is our biggest goal to grow our student enrollment there. But we cannot grow our enrollment until we have the mentors to place the students with. So bringing it back, just the basics, our students must maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher. They must show good attendance, and they must show a commitment to college. We are trying to bridge the gap to higher education for our underserved youth. So they also have to demonstrate some sort of financial need. But again, our biggest goal is to recruit those mentors so that way our students have someone to talk to, someone who encourages and pushes them in that college direction. As Chief Taylor mentioned, he is one of our dedicated mentors, and we are so grateful to have him involved. We have Mr. Justin Campbell. He's also one of our mentors, and we appreciate again the commitment that the city of Palatka has shown in helping us grow the Take Stock in Children program. At the completion of the program, the students do receive a 60 credit tuition Florida prepaid scholarship. So that is the last step for us in making sure that our students are college bound and committed, and that we're bridging the gap to higher education for our Putnam County students. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
If I may, Mayor, just really quickly, I've seen the benefits of this program for the Putnam County School District. And I would implore, if there are individuals that have the time in their schedule to become a mentor, that they truly take it into consideration. And I think it's been more beneficial to me to work with my student at Crescent City High School than it is for me to work with him. But again, I've seen across the board how this program has been very instrumental for our students in this community, and would again encourage those that may want to come into it to really look into it, as it will be beneficial to you as well.
Go ahead, Commissioner Brown.
Again, I want to thank you for the presentation and thank you for having to take stock in our children. But I heard when you mentioned that they have to make a minimum of a 2.0. So I like to also look at those that are just slightly below, because we want to make sure that those that could have an opportunity to be able to improve their grades. And if your program offers something like that, that would be great to help get some of those ones who may fall just slightly below, that could have an opportunity to also participate. So just think about that.
Does anybody else have any comments? Thank you. Legislative update from Becca and Paula. Are they on Zoom?
Yes, I am on.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you, Ms. Jackson?
I am great. All right, may I proceed?
Yes, please.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, thank you so much for the opportunity to come before you. Again, I will be brief enough so that you can ask questions. But this is a very different legislative session, and every legislative session certainly is different. This one was my 26th, and I had never seen one like it. So it was very extended. As we know that there was some dissension between the governor and the legislature, which made it very unusual. So I wanted to start by talking about what did happen, and then to talk about what didn't happen, and then open it up for questions if you had any. So what did happen? We did finally get a budget passed, and the governor extended this almost to the deadline. We had to, I shouldn't say the governor extended, but it was extended almost to the deadline of June 30th is basically about the time that the governor acted on appropriations. But notwithstanding the appropriations, there were some other things that were very important that provided, I think, entree for what we can see next year. One of the things that we really were paying attention to was rural renaissance, because that's a direct effect on Palatka. And although Senator Albritton didn't get everything he wanted in that package, we see that as an opportunity for next session, knowing that we start early next session. We start in January. Some other highlights, particularly for this area, was in the area of transportation. And we have provided for you a summary of Putnam County as a whole, what they received. In terms of what we asked for, Palatka asked for, we did not get additional funding for projects that we had requested. However, I wanted to, and if we could, I don't have control of the screen, but we also provided for you a summary of what you have done over the last 3 years, 22, 23, and 24, where you received well over $20 million. 24, excuse me.
I tried to explain that to them.
Okay. No, go ahead, Ms. Cash.
Okay, all right. So you can see here in 23, which was a big year for us, where you received a total of 13 million. 24, you received another 4 million. 22, you received another, I think it was 4 million or so. But the bottom line is that many of those projects are now in progress. Whether or not that had some effect on what you received for this year, I would say probably. That, you know, we want to make sure that those projects are completed, and we have, since we ended the session, met with the Department of Environmental Protection. Something else that was unusual this year that didn't happen last year, we had some additional funding of grants that we could apply for, even if things were vetoed or not gotten in the budget. Those funds were not available this year. All of the $400+ million went directly to line item projects. But that being said, certainly want to commend Senator Leak and Representative Sapp, who are new to representing Palatka, for their willingness to provide an opportunity for us to submit. The other thing that I would tell you is that there were many bills that we have listed, and I won't go through all of them. We tried to provide this to you so that you can read through them to see those that directly affected you through a lot of the county legislation. So some of those, we have them listed as Putnam delegation approved bills. These are ones that went before your delegation and were approved. So the good news is that we are in progress, and I think the manager will attest to this. You're in progress of spending the money that you got over these last few years, and that's going to be important as we move forward to ask for additional funding. You know, you came to Tallahassee, you provided the advocacy necessary, and we cannot stop because, you know, you didn't get funds for this year that and you've gotten so much. We got to get those projects in the ground and moving. So I'm going to stop there because I know you do have a long agenda. We provided a lot of information to you about the projects, about some of the bills, but I urge you, do not stop the advocacy, because your presence in Tallahassee was welcomed, it was needed, and we have to go back next year. I do want to also just mentioned, because it is incongruent with what we're talking about. The governor and our newly appointed finance officer, former Senator Blaze and Glacis, has said that they are looking at efficiencies, government efficiencies. And so I want to implore you to make sure that we take that into account. There was an announcement I guess it was yesterday, both targeting counties and cities. So we want to make sure that we're mindful that we are in a time of accountability. So while you didn't get additional dollars, certainly being accountable for what you have gotten and being good stewards on what you have gotten is going to be very, very important as we move forward to next session. So the good news is not now, but doesn't mean not ever. And so we will go back with those projects, and we'll be in an even better position because you are moving forward on the dollars that you have received. So I will stop there, Madam Mayor, and answer any questions that you may have.
Does anybody have any questions of Ms. Cash Jackson? No? Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to work with you. It's been a great pleasure and honor for the Becker team.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
On to item D, Jeff Nation's request for lease of W4 terminal building at K Lock and Airport. Mr. Douglas, are you coming up?
No.
5 minutes for presentation, please.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Charlie Douglas. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Jeff Nations, 117 North 2nd Street. We're here this evening to support your consultant's recommendations regarding W4 hangar at the airport and this lease assessment document that was performed by your consultant. The consultant sent you 2 directives. One is to have an executed lease on file where it is accessible when needed. Number 2, the consultant recommended that you should ensure the tenant meets the FAA's definitions of aeronautical use. Last Tuesday, July 15th, we met with Ms. Cardy, Ms. West, and Mr. McNair. City staff was fully apprised of Mr. Nation's aeronautical uses, and their recommendation from that meeting was to meet one-on-one with each commissioner. We were successful in meeting with 4 out of the 5 commissioners last Friday, July 18th, when Mr. Nations explained his aeronautical uses of W4 hangar. A formal statement of aeronautical use is also in your agenda packet tonight, along with supporting photographs. At this stage, we believe we have addressed all of your questions. So this evening, our ask is for you to make a motion to finalize a lease renewal with Mr. Nations. And time is of the essence, because Mr. Nations received a termination of lease letter mandating his departure by July 31st, which is in 7 days. In the alternatively, if you feel any hesitation at all tonight, finalizing Mr. Nation's lease renewal, because you may have additional questions or concerns, our ask is that you at least rescind the termination letter tonight and agree to a 90-day extension so we can answer any issues, including working with your consultant. I'm here to answer any questions. And also Mr. Lee is here to answer any questions about the FAA compliance manual and aeronautical use.
Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Douglas? Thank you.
Thank
I do have a public comment card that was submitted, Ms. Kitchens.
Allegri Kitchens, 1027 South 12th Street, Palatka, Florida. I just want to say that I thoroughly support Mr. Nations retaining or getting a new lease at the airport. He's been a good friend of the city, including swapping his land with city land so that the city could move their public works facility out there. Mr. Nations deserves to get the lease. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Any other discussion?
I'd like to move forward with a motion.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'd like to move forward that we rescind the cease and desist or the termination
Is-
letter.
This is the presentation.
That's all. it was.
How are we making
I'm making a motion.
I know you can make
And
a
it's not
motion, but
accepted.
I'm just asking a question.
If it's not accepted, we would be able to entertain it at the time, but I would like,
Presentation.
I would like to finish my motion, please.
Let Commissioner Campbell finish this motion and then we'll ask legal what's acceptable.
I would like to make a motion that we rescind the termination letter and move forth with an extension of the 90 days to allow opportunity for staff and Mr. Nations to, and parties, Mr. Nations party to come up with some resolutions.
And is that acceptable? Ms.
Commissioner
West?
Campbell, if you could kindly make a motion first to have an emergency item added to the agenda and then
I
make the
would like
same
to
motion.
add this as an emergency item to the agenda.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any
Nay.
opposite?
Nay.
Okay, we have three. We have
And I'll-
majority. Okay.
And I'll restate my motion. I'd like to
Yes,
move
please.
forward that we rescind the termination letter and move forward with a 90-day extension, allowing staff and Mr. Nations parties to come together and try to come up with a resolution.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call. All in favor? Please roll call.
Well, you had a motion in a second. I got a
Discussion.
question, discussion.
Okay.
Yes, I think we need to have a discussion as opposed to just running into a vote. We received a letter from our city attorney. This has been a long, ongoing thing for us quite some time. I didn't hear anything different until just now as it relates to doing anything different. So I'm not going to vote on anything that I have not heard anything from a city attorney as it relates to what was already in play, in motion. We had a letter of termination for the I don't know if it was a contract in force already, but it was a letter of termination for cease and desist of a non-aeronautical use. And so that was what was on the table. And that's what came from our city attorney and direction from our city manager. So that's what I understood. So I'm not friendly to the alternative at this time.
So just vote no.
Commissioner, you
Go
can keep
ahead,
your
yeah.
comments to yourself.
Say what I said.
You can say what you say, but keep your comments to
Okay,
yourself.
it's not- you
No,
finish up,
you
please.
need to get him correct. I got the floor.
Yes, you do.
Okay,
Please go
but
on.
just correct him.
We're not going to correct anybody. We're just gonna let you have the floor and keep going.
Mayor, you are the facilitator of this meeting.
I am, and I am saying that you have. the
That was
floor. Please go.
inappropriate. That was inappropriate.
We're in
Okay,
the
a
middle,
point of order, please stop.
Mayor, we're in the middle of a roll call.
We were in the middle of roll
It
call.
was
I
in
didn't
the middle
offer-
of discussion.
Stop, please. I didn't, point of order. I didn't offer up discussion point. You finish your discussion. You have the floor, please.
I was done with it until that comment was made. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
This is for the city manager and or our city attorney. In light of what was issued, I'd like to understand your feedback at this point of what we're considering, if that's appropriate.
They will tell us whether it's appropriate. Now, go
Yeah.
ahead, City Manager.
Well, I'm just going to say that, yes, we did issue the notice to terminate the usage of the premises based upon the usage and in order to bring it into compliance with FAA. However, just recently, we got more understanding about how they're using it. I did make I was still at the point of recommending that we get an opportunity to verify the usage, which we have not had since we had this new information presented. So my recommendation was, or my suggestion was that we cannot at the moment issue the lease until we can verify the usage. So that's pretty much where I am as of this moment. Is there anything on this?
Did that answer your question, Commissioner Davis?
So just to clarify, so what I hear you're saying is you've received additional information that indicates aeronautical usage, but the city needs to verify that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't want to accept just a statement that's written that says we're performing aeronautical use. I don't think that's prudent. I think it's wise for us to take an opportunity to verify that whatever usage that is being done aeronautically, that it is FAA compliant as well. So I'm saying in response to the request that I can understand that.
Commissioner Jones had
okay.
requested first, please have the floor. Go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
As we all had opportunity to vet what's going on at the airport, and there were questions, okay? And we actually, the cease and desist was to get the answers to those questions. I think we need to be fair. First of all, that was just our last meeting. We issued the cease and desist.
Yes.
And to come right back and pull it, that says a lot about us, okay? So I want the city manager, the airport director, they're the subject matter experts. Give us the feedback on what you have discovered based upon what Mr. Douglas and his group have presented. I received, I don't know if everybody else received correspondence, that staff said that they're not ready to accept a new lease at this time.
Right.
So I don't think that we should go against staff, and legal is not really saying yay or nay, but I'm only yielding cautious of what staff says, as we usually do here, and not move forward. And I have to agree with Commissioner Bourne. This wasn't a matter that we were going to make a determination today or stop the cease and desist that we just ordered last week. So we're saying go, no, stop, go in the middle of an action. And I think that we need to carry it out. And after the cease and desist, come back to the table. I met Mr. Douglas as well. And again, I'm gonna stand firm on what we issued so that we get solid information coming back, whether it's from the FAA. And I think that we need to contact the FAA directly on this matter and stop going with opinions of people who's not gonna make that decision. The FAA makes the decision. Why don't we write a letter and clarify it's an ex-terminal, which is city property, and see what can that be used for? Is this a proper use or not? Get it cut and dry. And when we get the answer from them, we can make a solid decision and an informed decision, okay? So that's why I'm at on this decision.
Commissioner Bourne did.
And
Go ahead.
yes, thank you. But and so I think even at that, I think we had some multiple tenants who had put in for W4 as well. So you had a multi individuals who were interested in W4. We had a flight school who came in way prior to and had an agreement. And I think the commission tabled that item and we never picked it back up. So we got a lot of conflict that's going on for just one terminal. And again, the aeronautical use that the flight school would have had, they didn't have an opportunity to even utilize the terminal. So I think to just open it up to just a competitive process and allow for everybody to be able to, who were interested in the building, to be able to have an opportunity at it as opposed to award. Because if we award it to one, we could have a lawsuit by another. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Correct.
Okay, so when we have these type discussions and conversations, I need for our city attorney to step in and help us out, because she's stepped in on a few other positions that it could potentially put the city in a liability for a lawsuit. So we need to really step back and think about what we're doing before we just go and award somebody something hastily.
Commissioner Campbell.
If I may, Mayor, operating in complete transparency, I don't know if you all were familiar with what was originally printed in our agenda packet. There was a discrepancy with regards to the recommendation that came from staff and what we received today via email. Hence the reason why I felt compelled to make sure that we cleared that up, allowing staff the opportunity to clear that discrepancy up, because originally the recommendation that was printed in the agenda stated that staff was willing and ready to move forward with a leasing agreement. And today we received an email that stated otherwise. Hence the reason why I wanted to make sure that we did on our end the due diligence, not stating that I am in a position where I don't support staff, but originally from what was in the agenda packet, there was a recommendation that was made, and today that was rescinded. Hence the reason why I said to postpone and allow that 90-day extension.
Any further discussion? Any input from legal or city manager?
Putting it out to bid through a competitive bidding process is a mechanism that would allow for the most transparency in this particular situation. It is what we do with other facilities that the city owns. We do put it out for a competitive bidding process. So that is an option for you to move forward that would avoid potential legal liability, because it would be a transparent, fair, and competitive bidding process.
Thank you. Any additional questions?
But first things first, we need to have the facts on, still in discussion, on the appropriateness of use of the facility, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're,
That's right.
could we hear from Mr.
So, you want to hear from?
No,
Mr.
go ahead.
Yule?
You're about to say something. Go ahead.
No, I
So you
defer.
want to hear from Mr.
I like
McCann?
to hear from
Yes.
Mr. Yule. Can you come up, please? And
Go ahead, address your question. Mr.
You will make an airport manager for the city of Palatka.
So, question I have is, have the FAA been contacted and asked about the usage of terminal
W4.
W4?
No, sir.
Is that a step in this process that should have, or I'm just asking?
Well, in my experience with this, there's a couple of different ways you can look at it. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is not expose the sponsor of the airport to some serious liabilities. The city attorney mentioned competitive process. You know, that's an option. It's a clean option. It's a smoother option. At the end of the day, no one can come back and complain about the process. Right now, you got multiple folks interested in one building, and it's a mess.
Right.
Okay. It predates me, predates folks up here. But in my years of being in this business, this is a classic mess. There's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of things that have been said, committed over the years, and we just don't have the luxury of having those insights. So we're looking at this from a compliance standpoint, but also from a standpoint of, you know, Part 13s or Part 16 complaints, which is filed through the FAA. We don't need that. I cannot recall any airport manager I know of that would encourage that. So if we can address it amongst ourselves, that would be the preferred route to go.
Right. And I'm gonna say this and I'll be done. I saw those lease agreements, even with the Skeet Club. And prior, none of us was here, predates all of us. Prior, that's been handled by the city manager, not bought before the city commission. So I know a lot of times commissioners go, well, that's day-to-day operation. It is, until something happens, they always now put it on us. So now we have to make the decision that should have probably been made prior by the administration, not you because you're here, but you got to straighten out this mess, as you said.
Right.
But I'm relying on the city manager, airport director, and the attorney
Right.
to work this mess out.
Yes, sir.
And don't kick it over here to us. And no way we can be able to save face to nobody. We want to be fair to Mr. Nations, the flight school, and our community. So what I'm saying is, we made a decision to cease and desist. The letter is out. You got to the 31st. How you gonna handle that? You guys handle it. And don't push it back to us at this juncture. And I'm done.
You done? Commissioner Moore?
No. it
So
was-
Commissioner Davis, I'm sorry.
I just want to say I concur with Commissioner Jones.
Commissioner Moore?
And I concur with Commissioner Jones. And then again, what I thought we were here today to understand was this: we were gonna hear the presentations, but nothing would change as it related to the letter that was in force. That was my understanding, and that's what I communicated to individuals who reached out to me for just conversation around that. So that's why I'm putting on the record for that. And so that's what I understood. Now, am I wrong or not? With the letter that was in force was still in force.
But
Yes, or yes, was the letter in force still in force? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, at
Yes.
this moment.
Yes, until July 3rd, go.
At the moment, or is it in force?
It's in
Okay.
force.
At the moment.
It's effective, yes. Go ahead, Commissioner King.
Again, I think it's still, the reason the motion was made to make this as an emergency item was because, and it was stated here, we tend to go with the recommendation of what staff tends to bring to us. However, there was a discrepancy in what was originally put out with regards to a staff report and what we received on today. That's the reason why I made the motion, so that we're able to iron those details out, which essentially goes back to what Commissioner Jones is saying. How is it going to be handled? But I do believe that it was of great importance for that discrepancy to be put out at the forefront, knowing that staff, quote unquote, made a recommendation that was put out, that was published in the agenda, that many people have seen. And then today, there was a break put in and no true explanation.
Thank you. Any further discussion? With that, we have a roll call, Madam Clerk. That was already started. But we have a motion and a second, so roll call.
Would you please restate the motion, what the motion was, please?
My motion was to extend the 90 days. Well, go ahead.
To extend the 90-day extension that Mr. Douglas had asked for the opportunity to staff.
That's.
I can
That
restate
is
it.
not
It's
the
A
motion.
motion to
Sorry,
rescind
I'm not-
termination letter and allow for a 60 to 90-day extension to allow the parties to come up with a resolution.
That was the motion.
And that resolution can be whatever the resolution is.
Yeah.
So that was the
Roll call.
motion as stated. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Roll call. Commissioner Davis,
Nay.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yay.
Commissioner Jones,
Nay.
Commissioner Borum,
Nay.
Mayor Carrera,
Yay. Motion failed. So the cease and desist letter that takes effect July 31st, that's in place, will take effect July 31st, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. On to item E, Skeet Club lease status at K Lock and Airport by Alex Shop. Mr. Shop.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Sure
Good
y'all don't
evening.
want to take a recess before we continue. For the record, Alex Sharp, P.O. Box 953, Hollister, Florida. And I'm representing the Skeet Club of Palatka as one of their board director members today. I wear a lot of different hats, but that's the basis that I'm here for today. I don't know if I have a presentation for you. We have been in negotiation with staff talking about the current lease that's in place. We have a lease with the city of Palatka. We've had that lease since 1961, and we have been a good partner with the city of Palatka. We provide gun training. When I say gun training, there's a college team that at a college level that practices out there. We have national meets. We have local fundraisers. We're an integral part of the community here in Putnam County and Palatka. And we've, as members, I've only been a member for about 10 years. We've invested heavily in the parcel of property that the city has so generously allowed us to use. I'd just like to point out to the board members that there was no improvements on this property. This was for lack of better words, a buffer between the airport and the surrounding property. We've improved it. We've kept it. The city incurs no cost whatsoever in maintaining this property. I understand the position. You've been looking at all the nonprofits. We are a nonprofit, by the way. You've been looking at all the nonprofits. And quite frankly, $1 a year, that's a great deal. I agree with you 100%. We have no problem. I too received a letter from the city of Palatka, and I did receive an email with a proposed alteration on that. We would like our position, and I can't speak to the new proposal that was sent to us. I just received it today. But the position of our board at our last meeting was that we would respectfully ask the city to allow our current lease to run out, and we would be happy to sit down and renegotiate another price. A lease is a partnership between two entities. It provides security. It's your word as an entity that you're going to agree to these terms. And that's all I'm here for. So if you have questions, be more than happy to answer them.
Anybody have any questions of Mr. Sharp? Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'm gonna let Mr. Gorham have it first.
Go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
I'll
and then we'll
ask
go to
my
Commissioner
question.
Foreman. Go ahead.
Mr. Shaw, you said you guys got a lease from 1960 out there.
1961, sir.
1961, so that's
Yes, sir.
about 64 years.
It was a vacant piece of land, wooded lot, nothing on it,
So y'all been paying about $64 for it up to this point.
give or take a few dollars. There's, just to be clarified, there's no one waiting to get in on our property. We don't have anybody vying to take over the ski club.
We never put it out there. That's what we're talking about RFPs right now.
I'm not quite sure you can build on it, but I mean, it
So-
is what it is.
You had a good idea. Maybe some of our officers could stay out there for security purposes.
Yes,
in-
we
in that
drafted
area.
a letter. It should be in your agenda. We tried to address all the ancillary concerns that were brought up. We want to be a good partner with the city.
Yeah.
We're not looking for a fight or any kind of antagonistic relationship.
It might sound like that from your standpoint, but
Well, I
we're
mean,
not
you
either.
came back and you increased our lease from $1 a year to $1,300 a month. I mean, so,
Which
and the
y'all-
lease isn't over yet.
Well, could you clear one thing up? Pull that lease out and tell me who signed that lease, because I had a hard time finding out, figuring out who actually signed that lease from the city.
I think it was Woody Boynton, sir.
No.
Could you
that-
put, who you say what?
I thought it was Alan Bush. I
There
thought
is
it was
not
Alan Bush.
one name that we could legibly see that says,
I thought it was Alan Bush.
it says, just say city manager.
Oh,
So I
maybe-
want to hold somebody accountable for that lease.
I wasn't there at the time of that lease. That would have been in 2009, Commissioner, but I'm sure it was a representative of the city. We got that lease from y'all. I mean, a copy of it.
Again,
Are you saying the lease is invalid or that it was forged? I'm not quite understanding where you're
I
going with
want to
this.
know who signed the lease.
It's Alan Bush.
Because it-
I believe it's Mr. Bush, based on the era, or is that, yeah. Based on 1961, that's why I'm saying.
No, that's 2009. That's 2009.
2009, okay, okay, then it could have been Woody Boynton, it could be Elwood, could say, is that a name? Could be Woody. Could be Woody.
But do we do, it's a legal document. And
Yes.
are we bound to documents like that, legal?
Yes, this is a
Yes.
legally.
So who
binding
is
lease.
it? Y'all
This
have,
is Alan Bush.
you think that's Alan Bush?
I,
2009?
Well, I'm pretty
That's
sure
my
Alan
opinion.
Bush is still around. I mean, we can, if you give me a little bit of time, I
I
can
think
get
the
clarification.
city attorney is still
I
around.
just like,
Yes, I do believe
Former
the
city
city
attorney
attorney
happens
is
to
in
be
here
here.
somewhere.
oh,
Don Holmes.
so my question is, I had that question. I want to know who signed the lease. It was presented to us. It may not be material.
I mean, it was
Historical.
notarized, Commissioner. So I mean, those people had to be present when the signatures were made.
And was that, sometimes it said personally known, don't have an identification from the notary. But I'm going
I
back.
get your point. I do. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a long time ago. And I mean, the lease is coming up and normally at the end of the term of a lease, you renegotiate. And we're not unopposed to that. We just ask that you allow us to finish out our lease. It's a nonprofit. We don't make a ton of money out there. And again, I know I said it glibly. There's not people lined up that want that property. It's a field is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna yield and pass
Okay,
to
Commissioner
Commissioner Bourne, because
Barber?
Commissioner Bourne actually, this was his ask.
That,
All right.
not that particular one. It was the other deal, but this came up as a learning from Mr. Bell, who appraised us on this whole deal. But here's my issue and concern and whatever. And generally, I think anytime we have a lease, generally it's commission action on a lease agreement, right, with the city. If money involved, we have don't we?
Correct. We're currently under this lease. It has another 4 years left to the term.
Right, but my question is generally, it's a commission action for anything
Yes.
binding the city to an agreement. But there's no commission action that I saw in under the documentation. So that's my pause. That's one pause. The other one is, in terms of use, and does it meet the use from the
FAA.
FAA and the individual that
Yes.
came out and do the.
So the consultant did identify the issues with this were not a compliance because of its operation as a skeet club. The only issue in terms of FAA compliance was a failure to have a fair market value rent for this property.
But it also mentioned that it was not aeronautical use for that particular
That was not
Right.
identified as an issue of compliance
Okay.
for the skeet club.
win. So then the other piece is as it relates to safety, I don't know how many people shoot around airports, different things of that nature, but that's my other concern as it relates to
Can I
safety.
interject on that,
Yeah.
Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
We
Yes.
have not shot an airplane down in 60 years.
Oh,
Nor no, I'm not being witty. We have not had any kind of incident with an airplane and shotgun shells
I understand,
on our
but
facility.
it could happen,
In
but then.
fact, there's a police range off to the 100, 200, 200 or 300 yards where they do shoot much higher caliber.
We're talking about the Skeet Club right now, but then
I understand that.
Let's not have it on here.
We got,
Please finish up. Yeah,
we got
go ahead.
one more, I guess it's got one more thing, and then, and then the other piece is my certificate of insurance as it relates to that. So is there a certificate of insurance that you guys have that?
We do, sir. We do carry insurance and we do provide that to the city. I don't know if you have a copy of it on record. I'm not the president or the treasurer. I'm just a lowly board member. So,
Well,
but I mean, we've been operating out based on this lease, and this is my time era. I didn't go back to 1960, but we've been operating out there since 2009 with under many different commissioners, city managers and so forth. And there's never been an issue. This is the first time this has arisen.
I understand. Well,
And
thank
we're
you.
just asking for a little leeway to, if we are going to have to increase our rent, I understand the FAA rules. I know more about them now than I should know. If we are going to have to increase our lease amounts, I would just ask that you give us a little time, which, 4 years is a drop in the bucket compared to 60 years, and we can renegotiate that lease. I think what I find that gives me a little heartburn is the city to break the lease, which you would have to do, and then reimpose a higher rent. And I think that might be an issue.
Right. Well, I thank you for your comment, but again, as a policymaker, for me, just I'm gonna respect your position and I hope you respect mine as well. Thank you.
I do, sir.
Commissioner Davis?
Mr. Sharp,
Yes, ma'am.
I hear you loudly and clearly.
Thank
But
you.
this is what I want to say. The city obviously has some issues with past leases,
Mhm.
okay? So while we cannot fix the sins of our fathers, we inherited them. And what I want to ensure is going forward that we handle leases properly. And that is with a realistic term on the lease, no more 54-year leases,
Yes, ma'am.
no more dollar leases if that does not benefit the city. And there may be some instances where they may, I don't know, depending on what we get for that $1 lease. But it is unfortunate that we're here in 2025 having this conversation, but I also think it's necessary in order to move forward. We hear over and over and over that Palatka is at a place to move forward with appropriate and sustainable growth. So to that point, these kinds of items will come up.
Yes, ma'am.
And we recognize, again, they're inherited, but just because they're inherited does not mean we're going to continue moving forward accordingly. Now that we know better, we're going to do better. It's unfortunate. I will venture to say that we are not going to make any decision that puts the city liable, breaking leases or doing things like that. But please note, 4 years is a long time, especially since it's already been in place. So I want to correct that statement. But at the end of the day, you have a lease signed by whomever signed it. You have the certificate of insurance. And I've also noted that in previous documentation that I reviewed, that the FAA even approved the Skeet Club to be there. If I'm seeing that's been a few years ago.
1986.
Again, that's
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
1986.
That was Alan Bush again, by the way.
Again,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
neither here nor there. Documentation is in place, and while I don't agree, I have to honor the law.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I just want to put that on the record.
And I do appreciate those comments,
Anybody?
ma'am. And
Thank you.
we fully understand that should you allow us to complete our lease, that there will be a change in those terms and that those lease amounts. And we have no hesitation on that.
Yeah.
It's just, this is catching us off guard a little
On
bit.
that, we can agree. There
Yes,
will
ma'am.
be a change.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just for the record, I need to clarify my previous statement. Alan Bush was the author of the 1986
Yeah.
letter. In 2009,
looks
Don
woody.
Holmes was the city manager that signed this lease.
Okay.
That was done on home signature?
He's here. We can bring him in.
No, let's
Yeah,
not,
bring him in.
no, let's not do that. We know he's not.
Because what's not there is a certificate from a notary
Yeah, there it is.
that's notarizing Don Holmes' signature or whoever that city manager is. It's not on there.
That's what it is.
Look at the name.
Oh,
Up there
making
says
me
David
dizzy.
Robson,
Yeah, that doesn't look like Don Holmes' signature.
Go back up there.
Yeah.
and the second person is Terry Finch. Their signatures was witnessed, and both of them were representatives of Skeet Club. There's
You're right.
nobody
You're right.
notarized
You're right.
a signature of any representative.
Well,
of the
I
city.
think, and in my other job, a lot of times when we have contracts go out, we'll make the parties that we're giving the contract notarize their signatures. And then when it goes back to the entity, we don't and I'm just using it as an example, sir. We don't generally, the head of the agency that's receiving the services doesn't have to be notarized. They're if the city drafted this contract, am I not correct? They were the author of it and drafted it.
Again.
We don't know. We don't. know.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just
It looks
saying
like Don's drafting,
I
so.
just want direct legal to actually verify that contract as best you can.
Mm.
A little better than just throwing it and saying it's a contract that we're gonna honor for the next 4 years. Sorry.
I mean, it's easily
Sorry.
ascertainable. I mean, if there is an issue with it, I mean, I'm sure staff Ms. West can find out from Mr. Holmes himself.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Commissioner Boyle?
Well, and the only other thing that I seen, I think in the letter or what have you, but I thought that the FAA, whoever came in, they did the approval prior to the letter that was sent out by Mr. the Bush letter. So when they came out and did the approval prior to Bush's letter. So that's what I thought I seen in the write-up now. If that's not the case, I can go with that and complete the contract. I can do that. But if that is not the case with that, because I'm voting on a conditional, that would be a conditional vote based on what's in the write-up. Nothing changed. That's what I understood, that what I seen in the write-up.
This is the research that I've been able to locate with the files that I have.
Okay.
I got one other correction and I'm gonna let it go.
Go ahead.
I don't believe that Donna Holmes was the city manager in 2009.
You would know better than I.
No, I mean, pardon me?
No, I think they can research that. We'll find out for certain.
But this is why we're in these situations about the thoroughness. We need to have that to make good decisions up here. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
I was gonna remain quiet, but this falls just like the last one. What is the city manager gonna do?
Miss City Manager.
Okay, so as it is related to the ski club, that's the question?
Yes, correct.
Okay, what I am going to do is what I've already started doing. I did consult with the lease assessment consultant to determine if the letters exchange that I saw between FAA and the city manager were valid. The consultant said they appeared to be valid. He did also mention that at some point we should, look back into it and make sure that it still is valid, but basically valid, but it is valid to the point that what we should be concerned about is the rent, the fair market value of the rent. That is the concern for that particular lease. There is a lease. The issue is revenue diversion. Revenue diversion means that the airport should be receiving more money than they are for the usage of the premises. And for that reason, the approach that we took was to look at the fair market value of the acreage, took 2%, that came out to 40,000. 2% of that made us come up with the number of 1,333. My intent would be I want to meet with legal once more to determine if there is an opportunity to negotiate rental amount with the ski club. And also, I would not be really interested in trying to pursue 100% of the amount calculated, considering that they're coming from zero and they have operated, or dollar, that they've operated with a dollar lease for such a long period of time. So that is where I am, and I will be concluding that very soon.
Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
And I'll say this, if you revert back to the letter that was sent to the Skeet Club, and I'm reading verbatim.
Okay.
FAA regulations require a fair market return on all new leases. That's point number one. The lease was paid in full
In advance.
in 2009. Point number two. We tied our hands, even with what we sent them, that the first part of it is on all new leases. They're still within a lease. So there's really nothing from what we sent them that we can do until this lease is up and there's a negotiation for a new lease.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Any further discussion?
Anyway, I will pursue moving forward with legal as counsel.
Correct.
And I will be as.
So again, and I'm gonna say this, and I know we have a lengthy meeting. What conversations is gonna happen from tonight that should not have already occurred? There was a letter sent out to them on the 8th of July, which was a couple of weeks ago, that clearly states that FAA stated that it's on all new leases. I don't understand what conversation can happen between today and
The future, near future.
the next 4 years, that is gonna change what has been documented by city staff.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner
So
Davis.
the letter does say.
I just want to say, that's the point I was trying to make when I was talking to Mr. Sharp like 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
We have what we have in
We
place.
have a legal
And
lease.
all we can do is in 4 years, make sure we appropriately follow a lease process for the city.
And so, yes, and so in 3 years, we
Okay.
need to start that process and not wait till the last minute. I have a public request for public comment from Ms. Kitchens.
Allegra Kitchens, 1027 South 12th Street, Palatka, Florida. As a former commissioner, but especially as an individual citizen, I have an issue with the city commission getting information at the very last minute, at the beginning of the meeting, that the public can't get hold of. I don't know about the other public, but I copy these agendas and I look at them, and I'm not privy to the information you all got. Apparently you weren't very privy to it either. I have an issue with that. The other thing is, 4 years left on the lease. As Mr. Campbell said, they can't do anything for 4 years. That shouldn't even be discussed tonight. The other thing is the cease and desist letter. I find it very interesting that the city's wells, the spray field, the potable water, the public works, new public works, which will be at the airport, and the Moody Road Fire Station are not compatible with airport uses. Was there a letter sent from you all to the city of Palatka? You're not in compliance. The Skeet Club is in compliance. The letter in the packet says you're in compliance. The other thing that I find slightly amusing, I had to check it with a policeman because I know guns. I'm very familiar with them. Don't know shotguns so much. So when I hear people say shotguns are gonna shoot down a plane, I'm thinking, I want to get me a shotgun. However, I don't think shotguns have that kind of a range. So I asked one of our policemen, and he said, absolutely not. There's no way you can shoot down a plane with a shotgun. So I just wanted to point that out, and good Lord.
Thank you. Okay. No applause, please, whether it's merited or not. We're going to go on to city manager and administrative reports, administrative leave policy, Ms. Jones.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, before you in the packet is a policy that we've generated. At current, the city of Palatka's personnel policy likes any direction as far as administrative leave for all of the general employees. Although the police and fire operate under different guidelines that they have, for us to put a staff on administrative leave, we wanted to put clear guidelines as to whether it would be leave or unpaid leave and how to proceed with that. So all staff would be created equally if that should arise. So before you is a document for you all to review. And if there are any changes or just suggestions to add in that you may see that's not listed, and then just get back to me and I'll change it all and it'll come back before you on the next commission meeting in August for your adoption.
Thank you. Any questions, Ms. Jones? Thank you. Airport operations updated. Is there more?
Okay. Are we at airport operations update?
Yes.
All right, so I'll make it very brief and to the point, mainly just informing where we are with all three circumstances. We already know with the W4, we had issued on July 2nd, the notice of termination, and we understand where we are with that. With the Ski Club, because it was deemed FAA compliant, our goal was to make certain that the rental rate was adjusted to market value. Also, we will follow up, Commissioner, as noted, that the letter said new. And if it is indeed new, then that says that we should, wait until the term ends to move forward. So we will confirm that, just letting you know that. We have met with both parties and they are both here. On July 10th, the other portion is with the skydiver RV situation. July 10th, we held a meeting where I brought the city attorney, airport manager, fire marshal, and code enforcement together to address the concern. And what we did find out is there were a lot of violations there after code enforcement went out there. And the city itself have begun to clear up and clean up all of those things that were there at the airport. We have made significant progress. We have a timeline. Our timeline is by August 10th that everything will be removed that should not be there. We're also working with the tenant as well related to the number of days that the RV can stay on site, because the agreement says that they can only be there 3 days. And what we have been discovering, it appears that they have been just staying and, you know, for lengths of time. So we're dealing with that as well. And that's pretty much the airport operations update.
Thank you. Any questions?
I would have loved to hear it from the airport man.
Of course.
Me too. So
Come-
that's
That's fine.
exactly what I want to
Oh, I'm
say.
sorry.
I'm
I
not,
mean, we've heard it. but-
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Mr. McNair, could you please?
well, she already gave it, but the point I wanted to make is in the future, as with all departments, I would expect to hear from the department manager,
Not a problem.
not the city manager.
Thank you. And he may actually have come, Ms. Steele.
Mr. McNair, come on up if you have anything further.
Yeah, why not? Because it might be something you have to say that I didn't remember.
Well, I have
Airport
good news,
manager.
really good news.
Yes,
So,
really good news.
the RVs and all that, we've noticed that that customer has started responding to the visit. So I think that's a plus. The campus at the airport, a lot of these things are just old practices that we are coming across, and this is not punitive. This is really a matter of just cleaning up the community and the campus. We get some very unique individuals, unique customers come in, and we're trying to put our best foot forward. So when they touch down in Palatka, we want that first impression to be the best. So, this is really where all this is coming from, but we are making progress. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, as it relates to splash
Splash
pad,
pad.
I don't know if I have anyone prepared other than myself to talk about it. Okay, so for the splash pad, update is that we do have an engineer firm working on the feasibility study, looking at 2 possible other sites. We did have the town hall meeting. We did also, as requested by the commissioners, conducted an additional survey. And with a additional survey, we had 1,557 responses. And so essentially, we're still in the midst of completing that process. We are also legal, you may want to give an update on the Palatka Boathouse.
Well,
Marina.
no, I also have some folks that have submitted public comment, and I want to, if anybody has any questions. Yeah, splash pad, any discussion or questions of Ms. Claudia
I
about
just
splash
want to
pad?
make sure, Mayor. Is this rendering the one that we're taking in consideration?
Yes, sir. And that's 1,000 square feet. Mr. Joe is here. He can at least speak to that rendering. If you like.
Mr. Mr.
That
Verrecchio?
is the rendering that we're looking to go with. And remember, it doesn't have the gating around it and everything else, but that's about almost very accurate to the size it's gonna be with the additional decking on the outside. That'll be surrounded with a fence, benches, shade spots, water fountains, things of that nature. So that's a very basic drawing of it. It is just under 1,000 square foot of splash pad area, and you're pushing almost 2,000 square foot of total area.
Look
Thank
rather
you.
basic to me. Really is. But
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
I have some comments and questions about the splash pad. So in our last meeting, I asked for some information that I have not seen yet. And I asked for information on cost, maintenance, how much water, just a lot of information, because I'm not confident that the information we've been provided so far provides us with the detailed information to, first of all, determine if we can even afford this splash pad. And secondly, the location. And I see, based on what's coming up next on the agenda, it looks like there's been some movement towards I'm gonna assume, but I'll hear later, that it's towards making a location that was previously not acceptable because we had that space lease, that potential some negotiations to make it available. I'm making that assumption, but I'll wait for the next statement, item. And again, just with following up with the surveys, I did read them all. I read the comments. But what's interesting to me is while they provide the information they provide, and I know I have not interviewed everybody in this city, but I have done a very large cross-section personally. And the feedback I'm getting is not consistent with what I'm seeing in this survey. So again, I'm just going to be clear that we have parks and recreation that exist today. We have, let me ask this, are there any backlogs of maintenance items in the city of Palatka?
No.
Okay, so no requests that have not been done. So to that point then, I guess the question is, as I drive around our city and see opportunity for some maintenance, apparently what I hear you saying is it hasn't been requested or logged. Would that be accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back then that confirms my premise that if that's the case, and this is the condition in which we're maintaining our current assets under parks and recreation, and I'm not taking this out on staff at this point. The point I really want to drive is I'm just not opposed to something new when we're not maintaining what we currently have. That's it. The third major point I want to make about the splash pad is my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we are moving forward with getting all of this information because it was approved in a prior budget.
This budget for this year.
The year we're currently in.
I'm saying in this current year.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, you're right, current budget.
Current year budget.
Current year budget. It
Mhm.
was approved.
Yes.
Again, when I look at best practices for understanding what we want to do and what we want to consider in a budget, unless a number is arbitrary, I don't see how we could even have a budgeted amount when we don't even know how much it costs or how much to maintain it, or even what the scope of work is for this splash pad. So that's very concerning to me. And while I recognize I am started in this position in January, so I didn't vote on that budget, but I do have a problem with adding things to the budget randomly as placeholders and then saying we can take action on that placeholder with future estimates and costs and all of that. So it could be a moot point. The point I really want to make is I personally do not believe the city is ready to add anything new that is not required for infrastructure or anything that supports our city being strong foundationally. I'm good for pretty. And the fourth thing I want to say is I moved from a city that is very successful with their splash pad. But the things that make it successful is it is also a town that has a lot of extra money to do it. And they did not put the splash pad down so that the people will come. They prepared everything so the splash pad would be a welcome addition and sustainable, and they could afford it. So that's what I got to say about the splash pad. And I want to say that. So in lieu of getting the information requested that truly shows us how much this costs, how much to maintain it, what percentage of our budget we're trying to do this, and what are we not doing to make this happen?
Thank you. Anybody else have any further points? And I do concur with Commissioner Davis. I've always been apprehensive about this, the location, but also about the cost and the cost of maintenance. We have other parks that still don't have restrooms. and other features that we need to address and to then grass, yeah. But I mean, a lot of things. The point is that we have existing recreational areas that we haven't fully addressed the maintenance and needs of. So I have, we're gonna use this level of money to do that, and we don't even know the end cost. I agree. Go ahead.
Well, I just got a little quick comment, but I think we got here by, I think it was like 2017, 2018, we had approved for the pad. It was at that time, it was like $83,000 at the time. So it got somehow stalled and here where we are today. And again, during that time, we did select the location of down and on the riverfront. So that was during the 2017, 2018 time period, I think. So that's
It
just
wasn't
kind
the
of
Michael Red.
little bit of history.
To add additionally to what Commissioner Borm has stated, it was also supposed to be in conjunction with a civic organization that had brought it to us for consideration as well.
Thank you. I do have some public comment cards, excuse me, Allegra Kitchens.
Allegra Kitchens, 1027 South Street, 12th Street, Palatka, Florida. I have a problem with my commissioners not being told the full story on a lot of things. If somebody wants something from the public, they give you all the how good it is, but they don't give you the other side. I want to give you the other side right now because I've done extensive research on these splash pads. So let me share some information with you. This precise number of splash pads currently being shut down across the United States is not definitively reported in the available search researches, but the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 60 splash pads associated outbreaks of waterborne diseases occurred between 97 and 2022 in 23 states. Waterborne illnesses caused from inadequate disinfection can lead to spread of germs, including Cryptosporidium, which caused the majority of outbreaks, Naegleria fowleri, a brain-eating amoeba, which also caused deaths associated with splash pads, according to the CDC. To ensure safe water quality at a splash pad, regular inspections of the water and equipment are essential. This includes monitoring chlorine and pH levels, ensuring proper filtration, and checking for leaks and other issues. Regular cleaning and disinfection of the splash pad surface and equipment are also crucial to prevent the spread of germs. And one of the things that must be done is regular testing. Test chlorine and pH levels every 2 to 4 hours while the splash pad is open to the public. You all may not be aware that the state of Florida Department of Health has strict regulations about what you can and can't do with a splash pad, including checking it every 2 to 4 hours. Certain fencing is for children under 5. They must be accompanied by parents. They must wear swim shoes, all kinds of stuff that you were not told and you should have been told that. And here's something more interesting. During the public health officials between 97 and 2002 reported outbreaks in splash pads. Let me skip. Okay. The 60 outbreaks were associated with splash pads, resulted in 5,384 cases, 84 emergency department visits, 68 hospitalizations. An outbreak etiology was laboratory confirmed for 33% of the 39 outbreaks. And it lists the various types of disease, bacteria, including the brain-eating amoeba, which I just found out about today. All kinds of diarrhea. Users who have children in daycare are familiar with Shigella and Giardia and all those things. This is at splash pads. And one of the requirements from the state of Florida is if you have children in diapers, you've got to make sure that those diapers don't leak. Your splash pad must be maintained out every 2 hours. And that means you've got to hire somebody on duty full time. You don't have the full value of what this is going to cost. Digging the hole and putting it in is one thing. You have to have proper drainage, water, no standing water. And a whole bunch of stuff that your staff has not told you. You need to be fully informed on everything before you make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Garris.
Thank you. Good evening. Pam Garris, 412 Mulholland Park. The recent drownings illustrate the dangers on our riverfront. Drowning is not the only danger to children and adults. 15-foot alligators have been known to roam the riverfront park. Children, pets, and adults are known to attract alligators for a food source. Why then should we use precious taxes from citizens and grant funds to build a splash pad in such an area? There is already a splash pad maintained by the county at Triangle Park. Why duplicate this facility, the cost to build and maintain it? The county incurred a $40,000 water bill to source city water for their splash pad. They decided to drill a well. The use of city water is expensive and rates are slated to rise again. Our city could make a lot of improvements with that kind of money. Couldn't the adults and children of the area be better served with the building of a state-of-the-art inclusive playground with the funds? Everyone seems to build a splash pad these days. Couldn't Palatka set a high bar for the care and concern of its citizens and children? The city of Paris, Tennessee will complete such a playground this Labor Day. What a great use of public funds to include our handicapped children in the recreation facilities of our city. Palatka is poised to bloom into a truly great, improved, clean, impressive city for all of Florida to take note. We need to think outside the box to make this city blossom. I implore you, the city commissioners and Mayor Correa, to rethink this great expenditure of precious funds. Make this city bloom, please.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I know it's on the agenda for an update, but I think ultimately a decision has to be made so that if this is something that we are going to move forward with, or that we're not, that we don't continue to put staff in a situation that would allow them to be able to focus on something else within this city. So I don't know how we want to address this. This has been something that has been a part of the conversation for years. And it's literally us running around in circles. So I want us to either move forward or say we're not, so that we would be able to have our staff focus on things that we are looking to do and not hopeful that will not come to fruition.
Okay,
Can I
with that,
respond?
you may. Go ahead.
We are in the midst of the engineering company that is doing the feasibility study. The intent is that they will be completed around August 15th. So at least by the next agenda, some of the questions that Commissioner Davis have been asking will be in a better position to respond. I would like to be given an opportunity to gather everything that we can get together as requested and present it for decision for the next agenda.
And just to piggyback off of Commissioner Davis, and this is just a learning opportunity for us as we move forward. If there are requests that has not been fulfilled at the request of a commissioner, especially via a meeting, I would make the recommendation that it does not appear on the agenda until we get the necessary documentation.
That's good.
That would allow us to make a sound decision versus getting bits and pieces.
Okay.
So
I'll take that into consideration. I understand. I will not put it as an update until we have everything completed. Thank you.
Just question. The engineer
Yes.
who's doing the work,
Mhm.
what's the cost associated?
It's not too much. Is Carlos here? Okay.
And did we say that?
Good afternoon, Carlos Dominguez, project manager. The cost associated with the feasibility study they're doing is around $4,000. That's it. And I think the majority of the question that you're asking is going to be responded in the next commissioner meeting, because actually the engineering firm, it's coming to present like the full picture of the project, the cost, everything, maintenance, everything. So next commissioner meeting, they're ready to present that. They're not done yet. That's why they're not here, but they're not done. We're just giving an update right now.
Okay, well, we've already made a commitment to pay for that. So at this point, it makes sense. Yeah, I know. No, I agree. It's an additional cost added to the, or deducted from the amount we have, whichever
Right.
way you want to view it.
And it was a part of the due diligence
Thank
requested.
you. So we will come to some consensus and conclusion at the next meeting on this topic.
Right.
Okay. On to June 2025 financial report.
I would like to introduce our new finance director, Ms. Chantel Pierre. And she's coming to us all the way from the villages and other cities, Homestead. So
Welcome.
this is her first time here.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
aboard.
you. Happy to be here. And I'll keep it short and sweet. So
Mm,
the first part, okay.
Go to the first page. The other way, please, Karen. To where it's the writing unaudited results.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can start there. So this was prepared for your reading pleasure. I just want to point out a few things. There are some highlights I wanted to point out. We are 9 months into the fiscal year. 75% of the fiscal year has been completed. The first paragraph is basically about the general fund. There's 13 million that represents 56% of budgeted amounts for fiscal year 2025. We have expenditures from the general fund year to date of $12,859,858, representing 54% of budgeted amounts. Then I go into encumbrances. We have $1,027,000 in encumbrances. And in the second paragraph, we go into the other funds, the airport fund, ARPA fund, and the Better Place Plan funds. And the third paragraph, I go into the golf course fund and sanitation funds. You can go to the graph, the colorful section. Okay, you can start there. Yep. So starting from the far left, the total citywide revenues are 78 million. We have actuals of 29 million. Our expenditures for our actuals are 28 million, and the net results are 976,000. Then just looking on the far right, the airport fund total revenues of 1.9 million. We have the total expenditures at 1.7 million and net results of 249,000. And we can go to the next page. So this is just more in detail about the general fund. And you can move to page 3. So the Better Place Fund is presented on the left-hand side, total revenues of 1.7 million, the total expenses of 2.3 million, and we have net results of 569,000, negative 569,000. Then we have our sanitation fund, total revenues of 2.7 million, and total expenditures of 2.3 million, net results of 329,000. You can go to the next page. We have our utility fund, total revenues of 8.7 million, and then total expenditures of 9 million, net results of negative 244,000. And on the far right, the tax increment fund, we have total revenues of 900, the actuals of 931,000, and total expenditures of 239,000, net results of 691,000. And this just gives you a breakdown of your year-to-date revenues. So your largest amount is obviously property tax and your special assessments and your contributions and reimbursements. And you can go to the next page. Next page is our pie chart showing actuals versus year-to-date for revenues. So yeah, I guess I would want more direction from you all as to what you would like to know. So I'm being that this is the first time, I'm just kind of hodgepodge right now, so yes.
Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Davis, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't know if Miss Chantel.
Were you done?
Are you finished?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm finished.
Okay, go ahead. Ms. Davis.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And since you're new and you asked the question,
Mhm.
yes. So one of the things that would be very helpful, the first page that you went over
Mhm.
with the narrative,
Okay.
it would be very helpful to just have that in a clear PowerPoint, with just the
PowerPoint.
numbers, not necessarily the narrative.
Okay,
I'm just gonna give my feedback and I'll yield to my other commissioners.
okay.
The other thing that would be very helpful is the graph where you show actual revenues
Mhm.
and actual expenses.
Yes.
It would be great to see that in comparison because this isn't really giving
Okay.
much information. So actuals versus expected would be very helpful in a graph.
You said
that makes sense.
actuals versus expected?
Yes.
Expensive.
No, no,
Expensive?
no.
Okay.
Actual revenue versus expected revenue.
Oh,
When I look at the first page on the first page of this section under the citywide budget, 9 months year to date, total citywide budget and actuals.
okay.
So obviously revenues, we are budgeted for 78 million,
Correct.
a little bit more than 78 million,
Mhm.
but we've realized
29.
almost 30 million.
Correct.
Yeah, it would be very helpful
Okay.
on that graph if I could see that information.
The breakdown of that.
The breakdown
Okay.
on that one graph that shows the revenues where you should show the majority of revenue coming from tax.
Property
Property
taxes.
tax,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
How much were we expecting from property taxes versus how much we have? That's what I'm saying. That would be a better update to provide to us.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
and since I've already looked at it, then my question is,
Okay.
are we on track for meeting what we have allocated? And if not,
Okay.
what is the plan to achieve that, or what will we be changing? And that, I know you're new, and
Okay.
so that might be for Ms. Cardy, but that's the question I have overall.
Okay. That's a great question, Commissioner Davis. Ms. Cardy, I don't know if you want me to answer. I can,
Well,
okay.
we have met about it and
Okay.
we looked at the fact that we're actualizing, as you stated here, 55% of our revenues and, 54% of expenses. So even though we're not completely on track, we are, the good thing about it is that the revenues and the expenses are operating related to each other in a positive manner. So, for instance, at 78 million, and we're at 75% of the way. So if we did it in a linear fashion, we would think that we would be recognizing at this stage of the game, 75% of 78 million, but we are not. We are actualizing 29 million, which is about 55%. And there is a reason for that, because included in that 78 million is at least, when we looked the other day, about 30 million of that was grants.
Correct.
Right, so to the extent that we are just now starting a lot of the grants that were included as $30 million in that 78 million. So we are not, if 30 million is included in, and it is, in the 78 million, 75% of 30 million, would be, a higher number.
Yeah.
It would be like, everybody know what I'm saying, but it would be like 22 million.
Yeah.
So we have not actualized in this year to date, 22 million in grants. So we are at this point, as I'm working with our new finance director, those are some of the things that we were dealing with. So we're gonna start doing different kind of reports. One of the things that she is gonna do, for instance, that you were asking, is you see where we have budget actual, we're gonna put each fund, and she's already gonna start on it, but we're gonna put each fund on its own separate paper. And then you'll have budget, you still have budget actual there, but you'll get another column that identify what the difference is between budget actual. So those are some of the improvements that are coming. And it'll be separated per page, per fund.
I appreciate it. And the information you just provided, that's the information we're looking for at each of these meetings, or at least each month. That detailed information. The reports that we receive are too cumbersome. And as I think about reports and we display on the monitor, for our public, this is meaningless. They can't see those small numbers. So again, my final request is going to be, as it has been for all reports, is to do a presentation so that the information is clear in summary form that the presenters can speak to. Because this is not adding value to anyone who is trying to understand what we're doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Borrow.
Yeah, and again, thank you, Ms. Chantel, for joining our city of Palatka, and I wish you well in your career. Any way I can help you, I certainly will. But again, I like to see things in more like an executive summary kind of thing. I think that's what we're looking for. We're not looking at like super details. We're looking at the important things like the reserve amount, all of those different key things that we know that the city is operating like we think it should be, and when we can get to the detail based on looking at things like if it's a bar chart or if it's any kind of graph that we can see different changes and whatever with some explanation in there. I mean, that's what at least I would like to see some more executive type reports. But again, I think Commissioner Davis had mentioned a while back about the operational audit, which we hoped that we're going to go ahead and get it. We approved it a while back. That's the thing that's really going to tell us how we are truly performing in the city. We can see the numbers with the other reports, but the operational audit will tell the full scale and scope of things. So I don't know where Ms. Carter is with that or with the operational audit.
We're in the midst of, we've prepared the RFP. We looked at the engagement letter that we did receive. It was not appropriate for what our needs are. So, because it was still more financial audit based. So therefore, we did prepare the RFP for operational audit. And we have identified CPAs and we're sending it out
When
for bid.
you send
As
it?
soon as we can. We were working on it last week. It's not easy.
Okay. Well,
It's not easy. Okay,
we've been
and
asking
we are actually working on it.
Okay, we just been asking for
aggressively.
a little while. Okay, appreciate it.
Okay. Mhm.
Thank you. Any more questions, discussion? I'm going to move on to public comments. Thank you, Ms. Pia. I'm going to open the floor to public comments for any items not specifically on the agenda. Limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please provide your name and city or town of residence, and please be respectful and considerate of everybody and not be considerate and respectful. Is there anybody here for public comments on items not on the agenda? 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Kathy Moon. My address is 156 Rolling Sands Drive in Palm Coast, Florida. Obviously, I don't live here, but I'm here tonight as a co-leader of a bipartisan group in the community called 50501 Putnam County. And we wanted to speak, several of our members are here. We just wanted to show our support for the consent agenda item G. We feel that access to affordable health care is critically important to healthy and thriving communities. So we're glad to see that that you're taking that agenda item up and to do a resolution. So we just want to show our support. Thank you.
Melissa Ray.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
My name is Melissa Ray. I'm at 108 Barber Lane, Palatka, Florida. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are
It's
you?
a little warm and tense in here. Let's smile a little. So I'm the executive director with the Nehemiah Project. Some of you are familiar with me and my husband in the organization and the work that we've done in the community for the last 12 years, of which we've really done with absolutely zero funding from the county or the city. We haven't made many requests whatsoever. But the reason I'm here tonight is because from the work we've done with the transitional housing, the recovery school, and now most recently the recovery cafe, we have become aware of a grant that we can receive to really help the community. We are able to receive a $40,000 grant if we come up with only $2,500 to pay our annual dues into the Recovery Cafe network. The Recovery Cafe is a national model. It was started in Seattle, Washington, and it is for people in recovery. So we have a lot of recovery in the community now. This group is specifically for people who have at least 24 hours clean and sober. And so it's a safe place for people who are looking to maintain long-term recovery. There are places for people who need recovery, who are new in recovery, who are struggling in recovery, but this is for sustainable recovery. And so the grant that we're looking at would be a sustainability grant, which would give us the funding we need to make sure that we're able to keep this Recovery Cafe in the community. My ask is only for $1,000. I asked the county for $1,000 a couple months ago. I'm asking the city for $1,000 and I'm willing to pay $500 out of my own pocket. $2,500 to receive a $40,000 grant, I think is pretty much a no-brainer.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, it's not a question answer opportunity. Thank you.
Okay,
Deb.
well, thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you. Jeremy Alexander?
Jeremy Alexander, 134 Timber Lane, Palatka, Florida. Just want to say first and foremost, thank you, Madam Mayor, thank you, commissioners, and thank you, staff, for continuing to work through these issues of, I think one of the commissioners said, we are where we are, and trying to find win-wins for our community, for our citizens, and for honestly all of Palatka. In the particular case earlier in regards to W4 Airport, Madam Manager presented our client with a win-win-win just before this meeting tonight, and we weren't able to communicate. But I'm pleased to share to everybody, including Madam Manager, that he's in full support of your proposal. So I'm confident we can meet our July 31st deadline. Look forward to doing that as soon as tomorrow. So thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, let us finish public comment, please. Is there anybody else here for public comment for items not specifically listed on the agenda? Not specifically listed on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. I'm sorry, come on, up. You need to fill out a yellow card too when you have a chance, right afterwards, please. Just your name and city, town of residence.
Okay, my name is Luis Rodriguez. So I live at 108 Francis Road. And it seems to me, this new building and, I'm not opposing into the expansions of schools, but at Kelly Smith School, there seems to be a conflict of interest, and I believe that, it's being overlooked. I've done a little bit of research myself, and it states that, if you're serving in a board member or any kind of meeting, whether it's directly or indirectly, there should be no conflict of interest, especially if you represent any kind of realty company. And so that's all I like to say. I like to keep it short and simple. I like to bring it straight forward, because when the school tried to present its case, first of all, they was discrepancies that they didn't even know what was going on as to going into people's properties. There was no list of utilities right of ways of what the future land use is or is going to be. And also there was nothing mentioned about, they only mentioned about the 5.5 acres, but they did not mention about the 54.19 acres that is adjacent to it. If you look at the meeting, and I'm pretty fired up for the simple reason being that I felt like my intelligence was being, my intelligence was being attacked. And it was very evident at the end of that minute meeting. If you go back to that minute meeting, you will see how at the end, the city planner, I had asked them for some information requesting, he never served the city clerk with the paperwork. Paperwork disappeared. Now, this is my first time dealing with this. I didn't want to get involved with this, but it's important that people's properties rights are being preserved. And what I am seeing here is that in that area, there is a demographic, I'm sure they did a demographic survey knowing that everybody in that area, it's very elderly and they're to the last days. So, annexation, it's not voluntary. Annexation is taken directly from by force, because based on the city's needs. And so I ask that you guys look into this. I appreciate every single one of you here today that have governed yourself accordingly. I'm intrigued on every single one of you. And that's all I like to say. I mean, it's my second time to one of these meetings. Never been involved in any kind of community, but I love this city. The city, I've been here 5 years, is a beautiful city, it's beautiful people here, you know, and it's not a very high violent crime area. And in our area, you know, we like to stay in county lines because there is no violence in our area. So what's gonna happen here is I've been seeing, you know, multiple highways being built, and what's gonna happen here is that there's gonna be an implosion. I lived in multiple cities, big and small
Okay,
cities, and I've
that's true. You
seen,
have to finish up. I'm
okay,
sorry.
and that'll be all. That's all I
Okay,
wanted to
thank you.
say. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody want to respond to either of these public comments? No, go ahead.
To the gentleman that just spoke, I really want to get an understanding of,
Yes. The gentleman is referring to the last planning board meeting where there was an application by the Putnam County School Board to voluntarily annex a piece of property to expand Kelly Smith School. I do believe the item is on the agenda later on, so you will be hearing a little bit more from the attorney representing the school board on the voluntary annexation process, but that is what the public comment was with respect to.
thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Excuse me. Commissioner Jones, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are you gonna address the conflict that he was talking about?
We are all going, I'm going to open up public comment when we get to that item on the agenda again, and I think then we could probably address it when we have more information.
To be completely honest, I am not aware of a conflict of interest. I talked to
I'm
all
not
of our
aware of it
planning
either.
board members. We do have a planning board member that is a realtor, but he does not have a direct or indirect pecuniary gain that is associated with this annexation. I do not believe there is any conflict of interest.
Yeah, you
that
can't
I'm
come up
aware
with,
of.
excuse me, sir. When we get to this item, there'll be an opportunity for public comment again, and you may be able to come up at that time. Thank you. Thank you. On to discussion direction, Blue Crab Festival.
Mayor, we have prefaced this conversation as just with respect to it being something that we talked about extensively, that we not rehash or talk about what we've already talked about numerous, and just really kind of dive into the recommendation of staff.
Please. Ms. Patty.
Yes, I would like to add, so is Mr. Eddie Cutright around? I didn't see him, but
He's out there. He's fine.
okay. So we can move forward with just giving a summary.
I don't even know. I mean, Eddie Cutright, Community Affairs Director. The Blue Crab. We had a town hall meeting with the Blue Crab and had about 27 community members showed up. The consensus in that town hall meeting was more like bringing the Blue Crab back to local organizations to kind of run the Blue Crab. We had a survey done, and that same consensus said the same thing. I really, to be totally honest with y'all and transparent, what do you want to know? I mean, we just need to know, do y'all want us to kind of move forward with this? Let me finish first, Commissioner. Do you want to know if we need to move forward? Or are we trying to get direction from y'all to either do an RFP or something?
Direction discussion is what we're trying to see.
No.
Finally.
There's a recommendation that came, who came up with this
So
recommendation?
may I now go forward?
ahead.
Just in
Please.
response to you asking that the person come up, I brought someone up. And that was Mr. Cutright. But basically, we did give an understanding of us having had the after action meeting and the various meetings and the town hall meeting and what the recommendations were between all parties. And we identified areas for improvement. you know, like you said, don't talk about everything, but the centralized information booth, volunteer coordination, law enforcement, you know, restaurant maintenance, collaboration, enhanced waste management. And then we also wanted to discuss further about securing branded materials from the promoter and web domain. But the actual recommendation that was made by staff after all of this effort, and it was comprehending or, you know, adding everything together. Our recommendation is that the Blue Crab Festival should be managed for at least one more year by implementing the following strategies. Hire a part-time event coordinator to assist with the Blue Crab Festival, not to exceed like 10 or 12 hours per week. This is the recommendation. Prepare the RFP using the information gathered during and after the event, focus on involving the volunteers from the community, work closely with individuals who have been involved for 15 to 20 years. Also, especially during the period when it was deemed successful. At that time, it had 250,000 participants that would come to the parade or to the festival. Hire a promoter, local is preferred, but with experience in marketing, vendor acquisition, and events similar to the Blue Crab Festival, and develop a schedule which ensures that the city of Palatka will have a successful Blue Crab Festival at an affordable price for the attendees. So that in a nutshell is the best that staff can recommend. And that's it.
Commissioner Davis, or Commissioner, who wants to go first? Commissioner Davis.
The staff's recommendation is in direct conflict with all of the feedback we received, and I believe in discussion that we had previously. So I do want to say that. I'm also going to say that the city of Palatka should not be in the business of having and holding and being responsible for festivals. It was clear that we are not to send out an RFP, that if this festival moves forward, it would be with local volunteers from the community. And I would also venture to say, for me, I would like to see us pause for a year to do it properly and for someone to own this and to come up and do it right instead of trying to piece something together, because I believe there's also an opportunity for the city to in terms of direction, that we give whoever's going to lead this effort the opportunity to even rebrand it or make it what the community wants it to be in terms of a festival that's appropriate for the citizens and people of Palatka first. And yes, we would like people to come in and visit, but I'd like to see us treat our citizens and our public better than we're trying to lay out for visitors, if that makes sense. I was taken aback when I saw the staff's recommendations based on prior conversation and feedback from the public.
I was as well, and I've said this several times. We have other festivals that are totally run by the community. We don't give the funding to. I feel that we have to be consistent. And since we can't afford to do that. And I think we need to give this back to the community like they've had it in the past. However, whatever it becomes, it may not be what it's been for the last 3 or 4 years, but that's okay. I think it just has to go back to the community and let them kind of figure it out. Should we be as supportive as we can through the permitting process? Absolutely. But I think, again, it shouldn't be coming out of the city coffers. It shouldn't be treated any differently than any other festival in this community. And we have several. Anybody else have any comments? And with that said, what is the direction we want to give staff to move forward with this process so that we can wrap this up and head towards another Blue Crab in the future?
And for clarity's sake, moving forward means do not issue an RFP. That's what moving forward.
Well,
I
that's
wanna
the
be
opinion of
clear.
Commissioner Davis and I.
Oh,
We
okay.
haven't heard from anybody else.
Okay, thank you. So we're not there yet. Okay.
Yes.
Public comments.
We're not there yet. but
Well, no, I know there's public comment. I do know that. I have it right here.
I just. We, as the city, decided to bring this festival back. I think that we have a responsibility to properly close out as stated, or how do we move forward? But I do believe that if we're looking to exchange it and make it back to a community festival, that we should have some due diligence in the transition of it happening. How does it look? To be determined. Taking a year off, okay, but in that time frame, what do we do? Because I just feel like now we had a bad year or bad 2 years, if we want to look at it that way, and we're just saying, nope, cut it, and we're aborting what we as a city decided to bring back. If we do it, if we don't, I'm okay, but I'm a tad bit concerned of recommendations that have come before us or that have come to us, and it's not very much vetted by the city staff. And I say that, and not to put Mr. Cutright in the forefront, but he didn't even know what he was coming up here to talk about this evening. And if this was something that was brought before in meetings or discussed, I believe that there should have been a better presentation as to what you all were bringing to us, because I don't believe that the conversation, even in the 2 comments that have been made by the commissioners, are any different than what has been given to you in the past 3, 4, or 5 different meetings or conversations that we've had with in meetings, workshops. The conversation has not changed. And you all are putting the buck back on us to give you the same direction that we have given you prior on multiple occasions.
If I may.
Go ahead.
So the only thing that we're trying to understand is, are we going to have the Blue Crab Festival, you know, following the same method that we've done before? Like, you know, and if we are the ones to just completely make the decision, then what I'm bringing to you is everything that we've done thus far. And yes, we did get information from the community that they would like to take it back, but I also thought that we had gotten from the commissioners, and we didn't get a clear, like all 5 saying they don't want it. We, you know, we have 2 that say don't do it. We have 2 or 3 that say do it. So we just want to understand for real, what do we do? And if we aren't going to get clear direction, then I'll make the direction, and my decision will just be simple, that we do not do it until whenever. I mean, we just don't do it. And that's the problem. I mean, we have done all this work. We have had all these meetings. We've had how many town hall meetings?
2.
2 town hall meetings. We brought all the information that we can possibly give you. We told you the areas that we personally identified for improvement. And then we, you know, listening to you speak on the dais, we really got mixed message. And the mixed message was, you know, that you want to go forward with the Blue Crab. You want to have the Blue Crab because you've invested so much in bringing it to where it is now. And so that's why all we were asking for is either yes or no. If you say don't go forward, then we will not. And if I'm wrong for asking, I just didn't know that I was wrong. I thought I am supposed to bring it to you and ask. And that's what I did. I'm just asking for clarity. Do I go forward or do I not? And if we don't go forward, that is fine.
Commissioner
We're
Davis.
just not clear.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Ms. Cardy, I appreciate your comments. I will say I am prepared to make a recommendation and a decision tonight, again, if that's the direction we take here.
Yeah.
I'm personally ready to do that. A couple of things I heard you say that are a little bit concerning to me, maybe they're a lot concerning, is that you said you're getting unclear direction or mixed messages. So, and you said this is a staff recommendation. So I'm not confident. I don't hear the confidence that of who the recommendation is for now, even though it says staff recommendation. I do agree with Commissioner Campbell that we have staff standing to represent something that I think is putting him on the spot. And two, I said appears, I don't know, it appears to me. And the other part is that I think we were very clear from the dais of what the direction was. Now, side conversations, that's between you and the person you had the conversation. But I will say this. When the time is ready, right, Mayor, I am prepared to make a motion. That's what I have.
Commissioner Borum.
Well, I can tell you for sure, I was clear with my position as it related to the Blue Crab Festival because we had put so much investment in it. Because again, it had failed a couple years, and then we had COVID, and then we reinvested back and wanted to give the people something that they had lost. We invested the monies. 150, we dropped it down to 75 the next year, and 50 the next year, and 50 last year. And this is where we are now. So here again, I want to give the people something that they look forward to every year. People pre-plan for these type things. And now we have drug our feet after the after action report should have been happened, and we've been asking for that. We were clear on what we were supposed to be communicating and giving direction. Now, somehow things got all muddled, but long story short, I don't think not for 1 minute that we should stop the blue crab. Now, again, I agree with if we want to turn it back over to the community, if it want to be community driven, and we're not going to let the community down and other people who come from out of town to our city for the blue crab, that's all I want. I want to make sure that we continue those things, but in good spirit, making sure that things happen that the community is looking for. And I think that the whole thing got twisted and turned up. I think people might have exaggerated a few things as it related to the Blue Crab Festival. Yes, it wasn't perfect, but again, I think we should move forward with what we currently have right now and do the best we can, and then move and just transition it easily. But I think the people need to have something to do. That's just my position.
Any further discussion or comments? Commissioner Jones?
Excuse me. Excuse me. I agree with Commissioner Bourne. We asked for that after action and actually wanted to ask some questions. And I think the first question was where did we go wrong? And I think it was the negotiations at the beginning. I don't think it's a finger we could point at one particular person or group. We did allow the vendor to have way too much control, and we didn't control it. I think somebody called and said, is the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog? So in that case, we were being wagged by the tail. And I think that we should accept the challenge, regroup, and stand up like we can as leaders here in this town and bring that festival back. Put in the resources that we did in the past, because how are we gonna expect the $150,000 festival with 50,000? That was unrealistic and set up for failure in the beginning. Okay, so we could talk about handing it off. And I agree with Commissioner Campbell on that. If we hand it off, let's hand it off in good standing. That we did a good job. We want to hand off a good product. Not saying we failed or it failed and we just hand some off. Because I do believe as well that it wasn't a success because other people did not want it to be successful as well. There are some people that did not want it to be successful in our hands anyway. So, yes. And so I would be a proponent to say, hey, let's try to go back to the drawing board and see, because did we really finance what we could have financed in it? Did we do what we did years before? Because I remember we put 150,000 in to get some money back just to feed that program, seed money, excuse me. And then this year, we did kind of handicap the promoter. So let's get somebody who knows how to do this job. Like we always say, subject matter experts who know how to promote and do these big festivals and invest back into our city. It's our city. And get the people what they want. That's my thing.
Well, Commissioner Davis had already signaled. Well, Commissioner Davis, go ahead.
I'll yield.
No, that's fine. I was just,
Okay.
I was in.
So aside from whatever happened in the past, I have a simple question to refocus us. I'm not sure any place that I've seen, and then when I chose to run for this position, that one of the responsibilities of the commission, the city, was to put on festivals. So I do want to just make this statement, and I want to put it in perspective. My other question is, I want to get back to consistency. We can see that we have inherited things due to inconsistent business practices that have yielded a mess. What is the difference between the Blue Crab Festival, the Azalea Festival, the Daddle Festival, any other festival that we have? Why is the Blue Crab different? And finally, how can we make a decision to continue using funds from our citizens, right, to do something that we clearly hear they want to put back in the community and not have the city responsible for? And the other part I'd like to, again, just understand better, because the comment was made that we did this or didn't do that. We went out for RFP to bid. We did not do anything except have a contractor who was supposed to carry out what she should have carried out according to that contract. So we don't do festivals. We go out to bid. We put money in. So I just want to be clear that we don't do festivals. I'd like to see the city be consistent. I would like to understand why or how it's perceived that the Blue Crab Festival is different, barring understanding that at some point a shift occurred and the city did take it over. But why is that different? And finally, I want to say, yes, it was not successful this year. I think there was some feedback on the year before. What is the real driver to going to the extremes of using funds from the city for the city to own this and it doesn't own any other festival to revive it? What are we trying to revive when there's opportunity, obviously, to do something differently? And of course, I want to just think, you do the same thing and expect a different result. We know what that leads to. So I need some understanding, but I want to be clear. Aside from all the feelings, aside from everything else, aside from prior successes, why is this festival different? And I'm a proponent of ensuring that we're consistent, because I'm also going to say, consistency's sake, If we're gonna do the Blue Crab, then we should do every other festival too and give money. But that's not what I want to do. Thank you.
Commissioner
I,
Campbell.
I think I want to bring clarity because I think that, I think a lot of what you said, and we're mixing and tangling a lot of different individual festivals. We brought in, and I heard the mayor say the different festivals, but we as a commission decided that when there was no longer Blue Crab, the substance of what Blue Crab, we decided to bring that on. The Azalea Festival, we never had our hands in the Azalea Festival. We never had our hands in any of the other festivals. But I will say, we as a city do festivals. Hippity Hop is a festival. Juneteenth, on lack of better words, those are festivals. So we essentially, we do festivals, but to the magnitude of what the Blue Crab is, it's a little bit different, but we do festivals. And I made the recommendation, even at a couple of meetings ago, that if we are going to do or continue what Mr. Cutright and his team is doing, that we take in consideration bringing on a part-time or an event coordinator, because those two falls up under the festival. So if we don't decide to do one festival, we don't decide to do any festival. And so I think that we were mixing up festivals that were started by organizations that are still in operation versus this is something as a commission we decided to bring on. So yes, we as a city do put on festivals. It may not be to the magnitude of what the Blue Crab is or has been, but we are in that business, whether we want to be or not. So I, again, propose that we did, and you actually stated that the area that you came from actually had a, if I remember correctly, a person that is brought on to handle or help with an event or help with events or to that magnitude. But I think that as a city, I think that we have an opportunity to create or recreate something that we can give back to the city and make it a community type deal. But to say that we are not in the event planning business, that's a slap in the face to our citizens. And I say it this way. As a city, we are to do, or we should be putting our citizens in situations or atmospheres that allow us to interact and become a more unified front or effort and interact with our community and our cities. I mean, citizens in our community. Blue Crab, Azalea Festival, Hippity Hop, the Juneteenth, all of those are opportunity for us as a city to bring individuals in our city together and even on the outside. But for us to say that we're not in the event planning business, I think that that's not true. As much as we try to separate government from, when you look at other cities, there are events that city, how it happens, there may be organizations that work with the city but there are opportunities that I believe
some of what you said, there's a big difference between a festival and a one-day event, for one thing. Having volunteered in all of these. Also, Blue Crab was done by an organization or various organizations actually for many years up until the Palatka Young Professionals being the last organization, and then the pandemic, and then the city did take it on. The other thing about events and festivals, if they aren't self-sustaining within a couple of years, you have to question the validity of that festival or the way it's set up. And I think that for the Blue Crab, we have learned quickly that it's a continuous money pit, frankly, the way it's been done. It really has to be rethought. I don't agree. We have so many things in the city that we need to address with our tax dollars that we aren't or will come up shortly. And to put this kind of tax dollar money into one event is extreme. And I agree with Commissioner Davis. I've said it again and again. But consistency, if we give to one, we have to give to all. How can we just there is no real difference. They're festivals, they're multi-day. And to say that Blue Crab is special in some way, to me, that's not the case. But
That's not what I was saying. What I was
Well-
saying was the opportunity for us to make sure as we transition to this festival, that we do so in a manner. I didn't say we had to put money into it. I said that we transition this, if we are looking to transition this back to the community, what would be the downside for having staff coordinate the opportunity to transition this back into the community? If you have individuals who are interested, because again, we have the blueprint, regardless of, for the last couple of years, we have the blueprint. Why can't we not pass that blueprint on to whomever, but we orchestrate a meeting or a couple meetings that, just like any other citizen-driven board that would allow us to transition. I never not once said that we had to put money into this. What I did say is that if we are going to look to transition this, I would want us to have a hand in the transition, because we are the ones that I'll say I was one of the ones who voted to make sure that we bring this festival back. Again, if we don't want to put any funding to it, still allow us the opportunity to transition it.
go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, thanks. Commissioner Campbell, you brought up a good point. One of the things I want to do is I want to provide some clarification and definitions to what I'm saying. You're right, technically, everything could be considered a festival. How I distinguish the two is that we have festivals, which are I'm talking about the multi-day events versus some of the other events you mentioned. I consider those recreation events that fall under our department, our city department. So they are charged with work to do with these recreation events for our city. And that's what I think hippity hoppity and all the other things you referenced. So I don't think of them in the same category. In addition, they have a budget that's been established with direction according to how their department operates. So I do want to separate those two things. So to that point, I'm categorizing a certain event, and these are multi-day, and I am lumping Blue Crab with Azalea Festival and all that to distinguish so that we don't muddy the water when we're trying to make a decision on how to handle Blue Crab. So I do want to make that clarification. Yes, it's important that cities have recreation for their citizens for a quality of life. But again, and I hear you. I hear you saying hand off, hand off. I'm just not a proponent of something not being defined by the people who are going to own it. As a citizen, can we make recommendations of what it needs to look like? Again, I just don't believe the city should be in the business of telling whoever is going to do this what it looks like. I think that's part of their job to define what this festival is and the scope of it. And so again, that's the only point I want to make. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further comments? How do we want to proceed then? Because staff needs direction.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for everything that you all have shared tonight, and legal. How would they move forward with giving us? And there's a reason why I brought
We have public
Mr.
comments.
Cutright
We-
up.
And we also have public comment. Go
Right.
ahead, Mr. Cartwright.
Exactly. I brought Mr. Cutright up because he's my primary person with this effort. And so he would know even some details that I might forget. So that's the reason.
Go ahead, Mr. Cartwright. Well, let him, if he has something to say, please, he's been patiently standing there.
No, I'm here for the serve the commission, but I just wanted to add, I think one commissioner made a point about the money we gave. We also did give Jeanette a upward of about $30,000+ in staff support. So that made the total number
Exactly.
around $80-some thousand.
Exactly. That was just this past
This
year
past
too.
I voted no on that.
So did I, but it doesn't matter now. But that's, I mean, it matters, the
If
money
we're,
matters.
if we're
the
talking
point
about
is-
giving
That's
away
my
money,
concern. Well,
that was
that's
it.
my concern. I've been stating that. Okay. We do have people here for public comment. Ms. Kitchens?
You all knew the group Blue Crab started about almost 30 years ago by a small group of people that wanted to have a used boat show downtown to bring people down to shop in downtown Palatka. Over the years, it grew bigger and bigger. Regardless of all of that, Blue Crab is not the goose that laid the golden egg. It's not the golden cow. Some of you folks act like this. If you don't have Blue Crab, the city's gonna dry and blow away. Blue Crab is nothing but another festival. Yes, it lasts 3 days. Why is it on Memorial? Why is Blue Crab on Memorial Day weekend? Because the original people that formed it wanted to have more people at the Memorial Day parade honoring our veterans. So they had it Memorial Day weekend. And about the Blue Crab volunteers dropping it, they came to the city. Some of y'all weren't looking at the commission when they appeared at the city. They pleaded with you, let us have 1 year off so we can regroup and do a really good festival. And they said, oh no, we have to have Blue Crab. We cannot let you off. Well, they couldn't do it. Then you all took it over and then you hired Miss Salyer and the rest is history. But the thing that gets me the most, you have workshops. And I'm going to suggest, stop wasting our time with workshops. I read your agenda packet. Everything in that workshop said, don't do the Blue Crab Festival. Let it stop for a year. The city don't do it. And yet I hear, oh, we want to do what the citizens want. If you're not going to listen to the citizens' input, don't waste our time with workshops and don't waste your time. Y'all have other things to do and so do we. Your workshops said, don't take Blue Crab over. The city doesn't do it. Let it go for a year. What am I hearing? Oh, we have to do it, have to do it. No, you don't have to do it. And by the way, that 50,000 last year was closer to 88,000 because $38,000 in city fees were forgiven. So it was closer to 100,000, shall we say, than 50,000. But now I'm hearing with my tax money, you want to hire a part-time director to direct the darn Blue Crab Festival and then send in an RFP for a promoter. Look, I'll give you, I got $5 in my purse. I'll give it to you. Let's go in the parking lot and burn it. We can spend it faster. I mean, seriously, let Blue Crab rest for 1 year. It's got a horrible reputation now all over the state. People in Jacksonville and all over Florida are talking about how horrible it is. Let it rest. Hopefully that bad reputation will go away. Then let the individuals, the volunteers in the city, which are standing ready, organize it and get it done for next year, year after next. Let them have a rest for a year. It's not going to kill the city of Palatka. Please.
Ms. Hughes?
Well, Leaker took half my talking points. So I'm Erin Hughes in East Palatka, Florida. I have been involved in the Blue Crab Festival for the last 6 years, planning things, and I have worked with you guys on events as well, including Hippity Hoppity, which always makes me laugh when you guys say that. So I was at those workshops and can concur that the citizens did propose to, that they wanted to be back to a community event. Echoing what Ms. Kitchens had said, it did start out as a used boat sale down by the downtown businesses to drive more foot traffic. Is the Blue Crab more special than the Azalea Festival? No, not really. And those festivals, though, contribute to what the chamber and the county commission use for the TDC funds, Tourism Development Council, heads and beds tax. So it does contribute to that. Having any event for quality of life draws in foot traffic and people from out of town to come and enjoy. Blue Crab should be a spotlight of what our community has to offer, what Palatka can do and show and what's available here. I was on staff whenever Ms. Salyer came to Palatka and just doing a walkthrough, she was amazed with the infrastructure. And I've planned and coordinated many events through the city, and everybody is really impressed with the infrastructure that we have. We are catered to a food truck lineup in a particular spot. We have renovated our riverfront to cater towards having festivals and events and improving the quality of life. So I would fully support this being released back to the community. Essentially, I do echo the sentiments also of Commissioner Campbell that the city may want to have some kind of transition or a thumb on the pulse, finger on the pulse to know that it is in good hands. This is something that's important to your constituents. So I hope that you will support whoever comes next, because I know that the support of the city is monumental and to the success of finding other financial efforts and sponsors that go with this. If this matter is left off with a sour taste in the mouth of the city, if someone does pick it up, it's going to be even harder to kind of compensate over that. I've been a part of basically 2 comebacks at this point in 2019. The event did not happen in 2018, and I was on city staff in 2022 whenever the city first took this on, which exceeded the original budget of $150,000 to $180,000. So there is a great risk of the city being the liable party, but I do think that the city needs to support whomever and whatever the next project is, even if they're not the controlling party. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else here for public comment on this item, please come up and fill out your card afterward.
Thank you. Sam Deputy, 917 Carr Street. I'm going to go from a little bit different, but I do want to thank Jessica Cruz at Special Events, because I know she has been working diligently, and I appreciate how she's working with me on my events. But I want to say that we're not treating everyone the same. And I look at you for that. We have groups that have to do fundraising to put on events for the city. And yet you give money, and you have given money to Blue Crab for 20 some years out of the CRA fund. I distinctly remember that. And so there has been more money put to this than to any other function of this city. And once again, if you're going to do that, then you should fund every event that comes. And if you're going to hire someone, they should be working with every event. Otherwise, you are not treating your citizens equally. And they are volunteering equally, so they should be treated that way. I'm not sure the city owns Blue Crab. You allow the permit. That's your control. But when I go on Sunbiz, it's inactive. If you own it, you never claimed it. And, it's open for anyone to put that event in. That's how you control those things. And if our city would just follow the special events policies, everybody would be treated the same, but we're not. And that's where we need to be working on things. The Blue Crab issues would not have existed if the policy had been followed. If we need to update that policy, and I believe we do, I have a lot of experience with it, then let's do that. And I do believe our current staff in the events department could do that. So those are the things that I'm concerned about. Equal treatment for events that we have in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment? Come up. And fill out a card later, please, Mr. Vickers.
That's in a minute.
Mhm.
Askew Vickers, 207 North 18th Street. I applaud you all for what you're doing, but there's a simple way to do this thing. Hire a person who had the experience and invite them here to interview the person and let them decide who you're gonna get to run this Roof Crab Festival based on their experience. Thank you. I have people in place already waiting on this. If you tell me the call, they'll be here and they could interview.
Thank you. With that, we're closing public comment on this item again. Oh, again. No, she's sitting down. Is there any further discussion by the commission? What is the direction we're providing to city staff? So we don't keep going round and round. Do we want to?
Well, I
I
think.
know we've provided direction, but here we are again.
Right, but again, and to Mr. Vickers' point, there are professional promoters out there. There's a plethora of them out there. You just have to go ahead and get started way early in the process. But we've kind of spin our wheels a little bit and we're behind the 8 ball. But the direction was from each commissioner made statements. So from that collective effort, if you want, we need to take a vote, we just need to move forward.
Let me ask this, and I think this possibly would be a solution. And taking in consideration what was just stated by that was stated by Mr. Deputy. I would like to see us take in consideration having a line item that is solely dedicated to funding festivals within the city of Palatka that promote whatever, and we can come up with the language. They must apply for the funding and be voted on, kind of how we do some other stuff, but it will give the opportunity for other festivals that are taking place in the city of Palatka to have opportunity to have funding and the support of the city with their festivals.
We already did it, and of course that we can't use CRA funds for this anymore because
talking
of that
about-
ruling, but I'm just saying we had that program. All I'm saying is that program did exist. It could be modified.
Taking
That's
in
what-
consideration, moving it from the CRA funding
Correct,
to
to
the
the
city
general
fund,
fund.
to the general fund. I think that would allow us to give rest to the Blue Crab as it has been properly, as it has been referred to in the past. And it gives whoever the opportunity to come with a plan and the opportunity to receive funding from whatever festival they decide to bring.
Just one last comment and a little bit of a history as it relates to some of the festivals. But anyways, we used to get funding from the TDC. Usually, I think we get about $40,000, whatever, from the TDC to help with that, to help get some of the money that the city put back to put into the event to even seed it, to make it happen. There were also a number of sponsors who also gave money to help the city recoup some of the money that it had initially invested. And so those were some of the things that happened in past festivals. So maybe there's a breakdown in that regard. But again, I think all of the festivals are important. And I think if we do a better job working with the community, if once we do transition and turn it over to the community, that we need to have those partners in place to be able to kind of help with promoting those events and making sure that they happen. And I mean, it'll be a win-win, but we first need to make sure that we understand a little bit of the history as it relates to previous funding that was no longer provided.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
I'm in agreement with the recommendation Commissioner Campbell made. Along with that, the city no longer the city treats all festivals. So I need help with putting this together. I need a break. That the city handles all festivals equally. And that we include a line item in our budget for festival sponsorship. That will follow.
I agree, and I think the way that we can do it is the way that we do our special events. That if we tear it off, that event of a certain magnitude, whether it's a class, how is it broken down into three classes? That if we specify that those grade of events could only the max that they could potentially receive, if we cap it off that way, I think that'll address what Commissioner Davis was suggesting. Organizations who are charter festivals automatically know what they could reach. And it will give us the leverage of saying that we have given or supported all festivals that have come to us equally.
Agreed. And when I say that, what I'm also putting everything in the category of is our current process. of special events, following that process to go through, and then it gets here, and that we don't create another process. We have an existing process and that process be followed. So I'm good with that.
Mr. Cutrick.
I was gonna call him up. If you want to come up and provide some information, please do.
I really truly didn't, but yes, I agree with that. And I think if you put that in place, because we do get the conversation from the other promoters and other event people that ask them why the cities don't help. I think that would ease a lot of tension in this community, and we do the vetting process with the Class A, Class B, and Class C process with different funding added to each one of those classes. I think it'll give a positive feedback.
Mayor, if we're ready to entertain a motion, I'll
Do-
make it to the best of
Do we
my
have to
ability.
add this an emergency?
They're seeking direction.
No, okay, just double second before we go forward. Go ahead.
But
I'll make a motion.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
But we need to talk about the policy as well, because Mr. Deputy did refer to the policy and making sure that we are in alignment with how the policy works.
That's gonna be a real part of it.
That's gonna be-
I would make the recommendation that we give direction to staff to formulate a policy, a tiered policy, Class A, Class B, and Class C, with a maximum funding amount to bring back to the commission for consideration. Also, a proposed budget amount as well
Okay.
for our first round.
And may I ask, oh, wait, I don't ask that question again.
Oh, also with the opportunity to have a line for sponsorships. Was that,
Mm,
no, you said that,
I think you covered it when you said the tier and the
The
budget
tier.
yeah, I think
recommendation.
Okay.
that was it.
That's what it's
well, the
for.
tier
That-
and the
that's-
tier
yeah.
and
Yes,
budget
that-
budget
correct.
recommendation.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I second the
We have
motion.
we have a motion and a second. Roll call. Madam Clerk, please, so that's clear.
Commissioner Davis,
Yay.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yay.
Commissioner Jones,
Yep.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes,
Mayor Pereira,
Yay. Yay who?
Mayor.
Yes.
I do want to clarify and make sure that we're on the same page, that at this point,
Blue Crab should not.
Blue Crab, we're off the table.
That's-
I just
that's
want to
what I
make sure we're
wanted to
all
Back
clear,
to the
all
community.
hearts and minds
Yes.
clear.
Oh, we haven't voted that yet.
Not vote for that.
I thought
Right, we
this
haven't.
was the
No?
resolution to,
It asked for direction, but we gave direction in order for organizations. So do you want us to clearly vote?
Specifically for
I
Blue
think
Crab
for
or
the
we
purpose
can-
of staff
I make a
clarity
motion. I move.
specifically as to the Blue Crab
Okay.
Festival is needed in the form of a motion.
okay, go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
I move that the Blue Crab Festival going forward follows our special events process and be considered according.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Davis,
Yay.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yay.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
yes,
Mayor Carrera,
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda, I had a request to pull item G. Is there any other items to be pulled?
A and K,
A,
Say
K,
it again.
K.
K,
A and K.
like kitten,
So,
A, G, and K so far.
before we go too far,
Hmm?
before we go too far,
Mhm.
Blue Crab is in line with all other festivals. Are we relinquishing? Because that's not really clear. We're relinquishing
It's-
the Blue Crab.
it's-
We're gonna treat it like every other festival.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so they'll
They'll be
apply, they'll
eligible.
apply.
Correct.
Okay,
So all those who wanted to have it.
that's
come
it.
up
They got it.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so,
And we
Okay,
do have a budget line also that we can build on already.
thank you. So, no,
No, sir.
No,
No.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda excluding or pulling items A, G, and K for discussion.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Item A,
Well, item eight, I would just want somebody to speak to it because there was a request to reinstate a pension board
member, yeah.
member,
Well, he
board.
sits on the board, yes.
Oh, member?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mr.
well,
Norwood
okay,
sits
I,
on
no,
that
no,
board.
well, this, I thought there was something different. Okay, no problem with that. Okay, that's fine.
Motion to
Yeah, motion to second.
A.
Is there anybody here for public comment on that item? Seeing none, we close public comment. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Item G, adopt resolution 2025 R89, a resolution of the city of Palatka, Florida, in solidarity with other municipalities, organizations, and citizens of Putnam County, calling attention to the expiration of Enhanced Affordable Care Act credits, ACC, in December 2025, and affirming the need for the unified community voice in a grossly underrepresented district. We have somebody here for public comment, Mr. Townsend, come on up. I just spaced, sorry. Mr. Townsend.
Good morning. No, it's still evening. My name's Tom Townsend, 605 North Third Street, Palatka, Florida. And I'm here tonight as Vice Chair of the Democratic Putnam County Executive Committee. I want to thank you very much for considering this resolution dealing with the expiration of the ACA tax credits. I do think it'd be good to give a little history of how we got here. Listen, we're in a time of change for all communities across our nation. No matter how you see it, good, bad, or indifferent, change is coming. And it's going to be very important for us to speak with a common voice, being a small rural community like we are. The expiration of the tax credits this December, and listening to the debates about the big, beautiful bill and it coming, to take Commissioner Jones' comment, I decided to seek out a subject matter expert, and I called the director of our hospital because I was worried about Medicaid cuts, to tell you the truth. And I was wrong on that. And he was very clear to say for us and for our community, and he shared information with me that the biggest issue were the expiration of the tax credits. And he shared with me a letter that the chamber had written in April, stating that we have 8,000 citizens here in Putnam County whose average premium now is about $63, and that will go up to $750. Well, that's going to have a huge impact on this community. Certainly, and I do want to thank Mr. Smith. He's certainly was someone in control and want to make sure I didn't create a panic with anyone. But it obviously will affect the bottom line of the hospital. But bigger than that, it's the economic loss to this community. I mean, we're talking in hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've listened to much discussion about that. We're literally talking tens of millions of dollars that provide not only health services for our people, but they provide jobs. They pay our doctors, our nurses, our techs, all kind of people. That money circulates over and over in this community, and it's going to go away. But the good news is, this is timely. We have time. We've all witnessed when people stand up and push back, things can change. So somebody point, no, something else. So what I would ask, what I want to thank you for is doing this, but I also want you to go as far as you will and use your network, reach out to these other municipalities as the resolution states, to pastors and civic organizations. And they may want to do their own, but this is very important, and raising that voice and letting people know this is a time that I think we can come together regardless of parties. It's time to put Putnam over parties and talk about why this is or is not good. And I think it's pretty clear from everyone I've spoke to, this is going to be a major financial hit to our community that will affect each and every one of us, regardless of your ideologies.
Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Townsend.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do we have a motion?
Yes, and before I make the motion, I just want to commend Mr. Townsend for taking the approach for something that affects all of our citizens, regardless as to party. We have enough that divides us, but I'm hoping this is one thing we can agree upon. And it's not just a financial hit, but it will also affect the public health of our community. If our citizens don't have insurance and then they cannot get to the doctor and they cannot see the doctor, that impacts all of us. So again, I just want to thank you for this. And I move that we accept resolution 2025-R-49. Oh, I'm sorry, what am I saying? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, let's just, we can have
Okay.
discussion. We can make the motion and have a second.
Yeah, second.
We have a motion, a second discussion.
89.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's
I'm
fine,
done.
that's fine.
Commissioner Campbell seconded.
Yes, he did. Discussion.
Okay, and I too also support that extension of the tax credit because again, you know, we have a number about 17,000 people enrolled in Putnam County as it relates to that. And again, we know small businesses drive the economy for not just the city of Palatka, Putnam County, not the state of Florida, but around our nation. So and 97% of or 99% of the businesses are small businesses. And so, again, I share that same sentiment and certainly agree to extending that.
Thank you. Any other comments? I also concur and thank you again, Mr. Townsend, for all your efforts and research. Public comments closed. Just come up quickly, please. No,
I would echo, just not to rehash everything that was
Yeah.
stated.
Yes.
I echo the sentiments of Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Forum, and Mayor.
thank you. Okay. We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Passed
Okay.
unanimously.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Remember, we did have an emergency item. And I'm not certain if we addressed it or not, I'd like. We'll wait.
Oh,
I'd
yes.
like the
Oh.
attorney to give us guidance on that, please.
Okay. Yes.
After you're finished with.
We'll
consent,
finish
please
with
do
this,
not
with the
forget
consent
about
agenda and then we'll add it
Thank you.
Thank you.
to regular bit, we'll put it under regular business. Anyway, item K, adopt resolution 2025-R-96, authorizing entering into a piggyback contract with Thomas May Construction, Inc. for the Public Works Facility Design Build contract in the amount of $996,438.96. Mr. Barrecchio, our city manager.
Yes, I'd like to bring up preferably two. I'd start out with Mr. Joe and also Mr.
Just for
Carlos.
clarification, where
I
it's
thought
Yeah.
that we.
Oh, you
spoke
pulled
previous-
it?
No, I thought that we spoke briefly about the individual who pulls it, give us the reason of why. they
Okay, we
pulled it,
did. I'm sorry.
So
That's my
that we
fault.
could.
You pulled
Okay,
it.
cool.
Right, I just want to just have them to talk a little bit about that project. a little bit,
Okay,
This
come
is
up, Mr.
full.
Go
And
ahead.
what that means for us.
Yeah, the project we're currently at is, I guess a short update would be, appropriate here. They have finished the drawings and, Thomas May in the design build situation has given us numbers that fall within our budgetary restraints. Therefore, we're just trying to get approval to use their piggyback so we can begin construction. They're talking about as early as, the beginning of August or mid-August, sorry, just a couple weeks we can get started. So we're just looking for approval to piggyback that contract.
That's all I want. I just want the public to be able to hear, because this is $1 million here and
Yes, sir.
we're still moving forward
Mhm.
with a public works building for our staff.
correct.
And so we have been working on this for quite some time. And so we're continuously moving forward.
Right.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
correct.
So you have
I
a
move
question?
to approve.
Okay. The motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Do we want to take a recess?
I'll make a motion that we accept the emergency item.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know if we want to take recess, but okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Have a
we do
motion
have
to
an-
accept the emergency item?
We just finished the consent.
We just finished the consent,
Okay.
yes. Okay, excuse me. So we have a motion. Do we have a second for emergency add?
Second.
Motion, you gave a second, didn't
You
you?
gave a second.
Okay, second.
Okay, I get, I
A
just.
sidebar conversation we shouldn't have had.
I'm
We have a motion and a second, okay.
Oh, I
To add an
can call.
emergency item, then we can move forward.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to bring up, Mr. Bryant for further explanation.
And good evening, Mayor and Commission. I asked to add this item to the agenda for tonight, not to make your night go any longer. But you have a lift station down the street at First and Madison. It's one of our biggest lift stations. We had a pump go out. We took it in for repair. Just this week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, found out that the pump is too damaged to repair. It's not worth repairing, put any more money into it. And, I'm not comfortable letting the station stay with one pump for too long, since it's one of our bigger stations. So we have to replace this pump. The reason I asked for this to be added now is there's a lead time for the pump to come in. It's looking at maybe 9 to 10 weeks. I didn't want to wait till next month and then order this and wait another 4 weeks for that lead time, added another 4 weeks to that lead time. So I'm asking for approval for 34,000 to replace the pump in the First and Madison lift station. So I can get this thing ordered and on the way.
Motion to approve.
Well, wait a minute, we've got to finish. We have a motion and a second for the emergency item to be added. We didn't take a vote on that, and that's my fault. So all in favor of adding an emergency item to the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, now we can entertain a motion.
All right, well, motion to approve.
Second.
Your motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Thank you. Mr.
Thank you.
Clerk.
Y'all have a great night.
Cleaning it up, man.
Huh?
Cleaning it up.
My fault.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we want to take a recess? No, okay.
I do have a request, with regards to the public hearing. Previously, there are some that could be taken in consideration and voted on together instead of us individually listening as we did the last time. So I would like us to consider that, to hope of.
Yes, the planning director is going to do exactly that. And again, Mayor, you do have to read the title of the ordinance. However, for purposes of expediting and transparency, you can refer to the property identification number rather than reading the entire legal description when it comes to that portion of the title in the ordinance.
Okay, but prior to the planning director coming up, we
That-
have,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, that's to the land use ordinance.
that's to the land use.
For
Right now, we have
Fine.
adopt resolution 2025 R93, annual public hearing and annual consideration of non-ad valorem assessments to partially fund the cost of continual readiness and availability of fire protection services. Mr. Lawson.
Good evening. All the prerequisites to have this hearing have been met. This publication, I recommend you hold a public hearing, and I would request that you call me up after you close the public hearing.
Oh, certainly, thank you. Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? I know I have two people here, I think, for public comment. Miss Adams?
I've been sitting to them. My name is Alice Adams. I live at 600 North Third Street, right around the corner. My husband and I moved into our home here as newlyweds in 1976. I've lived in that home almost 50 years now. But since we purchased it for such a, we bought the house for $10,000 and it was a huge state of disrepair. We just backed a truck up and shoveled stuff out the back. I mean, it was really bad, but we worked on it our whole lives together. Since we purchased it for such a low price, our homeowner taxes have been very affordable and have gradually increased 3% a year when you have your homestead exemption. And since the fire assessment began in 2015, 2016, my assessment has risen from a little over 300 the first year to now it is $1,009.10 this year. The amount is double to what my property taxes are this year, as my husband and I are on a retirement income and qualify for the low-income senior additional homestead. After realizing that the fire assessment is based on the improved value of my home, like the market value, I know the city commission has nothing to do with the valuation of my home. But I look back over the years and the percentage amounts that assessment has risen sometimes 23% one year, 28% one year, 3%. I have no control over that. And I don't know how to expect what my taxes, I consider a tax, my assessment will be. As we are on a fixed income and can count on only small cost of living raises, this fire assessment is adding an undue burden on us. It's almost like having an HOA. You never know what's going to jump up to. At least I know my homeowner taxes will only go up 3% a year. And that's about my COLA. When I get my cost of living allowance on my Social Security and what I'm living on now, that's what it does. So if it went up, I would like you to consider basing the fire assessment on the assessed value of our home so that we can plan accordingly and can afford it. I'd like to think that when this assessment was first implemented, the long-term effects on residents was not thought out. You guys weren't there. I don't think anybody was here when on this committee. Were you?
I was here.
Okay,
There were
all
two-
right, I got
yeah,
you.
so this is not
Anyway, I don't mind paying a fair amount, and I understand we have some fiscal responsibility as city residents to help pay the fire department's operating costs. I'm okay with that. Please consider possibly lowering the tier 1 and 2 rates to give homeowners a break. Or do like the property appraiser's office does and give seniors a discount, because I'm not getting any more money. And I've been in my home 50 years. I don't want to move. I'm not planning on selling it. I don't care what the value of it goes up to. That's not, and that hurts me actually. Now, every time I do something to my house, I'm thinking, uh-oh, my value's going to go up. So my fire assessment's going to go up. So anyway,
That's my thing. Thank you. So, okay, no comments, please, from the audience. If anybody else here wants to make a public comment on this item, please come up and fill out a yellow card afterward. Thank you. But please come up.
No, I'm not worried about it. The governor's already looked.
No, we can't do, yeah, we can't do that. We can't do the dialogue of that sort. Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment on this, on the fire assessment?
Well, it's on the subject. I agree with what the lady's saying, and this city has a lot of potential. And the reality is that the city is, besides bringing outside workers, it's not really sustaining itself. And the reality is that you guys have the power and the authority to make this city sustain itself, to alleviate the taxes from the homeowners. I mean, it's a plan that could happen, but you need to bring industries in. This county has to be able to produce something to be able to sell to other states and cities where the money is coming in, because it's not very clear how these people are going to be able to sustain themselves. Eventually, what's going to happen, this is part of the implosion. People are going to be forced out. People who are on fixed incomes, they're not going to be able to sustain themselves. Not only they're not going to be able to sustain themselves, but there's really no opportunity for these young people. Besides, you guys are working on it, which I appreciate, but there's no real work opportunity. You only have one big company here, which is Georgia Pacific, and there's no, from what I know of, I haven't seen too many major technical schools where people can use their skills and trades, to make the city thrive. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Is anybody else here for a comment on Ms. Kitchens?
None of you commissioners were on the board except Mr. Boren when the fire tax was put on, I don't believe.
Commissioner
But,
Campbell, too.
well, maybe Mr. Campbell, but the room, there was 3 hearings on it. The room was full, City Hall was full, the parking lot was full. I'd say rough estimate, 300 people protested it. And it went through anyway. And one of the requests of the citizens was, like Ms. Cooper said, Ms. Adams, pardon me, was to let us have homestead for the fire exemption, for the fire fee, but that didn't happen either. I think what bothers me, and right now I can afford the fire fee. Yes, it's way more than my county taxes, and I too am a senior citizen. I've been in my home for 73 years. But the thing that bothers me is I see a commission that has voted for money, a line item money for festivals and for promotions, hire a part-time promoter, do festivals, and yet we have to pay a high fire fee to help support the fire department. The fire department used to be paid out of our tax money. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody else here for public comment on the fire assessment fee? Seeing none, we'll close public comment.
You're not gonna-
discussion?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna have Mr. Lawson come
Okay.
back up first. Mr. Lawson?
I just would like to follow up with that. You've engaged with us many, many years ago, and yes, some of you were here. I would say you have an annual assessment resolution that is in your agenda. My recommendation to you is because of how you're working on your budget, particularly this year, what I would recommend that you do is pass that knowing that you're going to have 2 budget workshops in the very near future where you can work out what you're going to do with the fire assessment. My view is I don't care, but I want to make sure you meet your deadlines and that you're thoughtful about how that process works. I'm happy to share with your attorney some comments that were might be accepted informationally that I just heard. But for right now, the objective is adopt the annual resolution, knowing that you're having 2 budget workshops. So you can do this because it's like a water balloon. If you move your assessment down, other things give way in your budget. And that's what you need to do. My only ask to you is the law requires your budgets be done by the end of September. You don't have that long because the law also requires that the non-ad valorem assessments be certified by mid-September. Everybody has to do it all at the same time. I beg you, I got to tell you, we can only do so much. We need to know by August 29th in order to make the modifications to certify the roll. And by the way, the standard that the state puts on you and the people who work for you is that roll must merge without error or omission. So we want to be right on that. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I haven't gone into any detail. I'm not going to respond to any of the matters brought here. There are good responses I'm happy to share with your manager and your attorney so that when you have your workshops, those questions can be answered also.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Lawson?
No,
We've all asked him before. Okay, we're gonna have, go ahead. Patty, were you going to say something? Excuse me.
No, I was just confirming that we do have 2 additional budget workshops.
Yeah.
And by us passing the resolution now, we also still have the opportunity to give direction to staff to lower it. That's how, if we decide that. But we still need to pass this resolution tonight.
Understood.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I make a motion that we accept this resolution. Or resolution 2025 R93.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have a little bit of discussion, but I'll let Commissioner Commissioner Jones go first.
Yes, what's his name? Well, that same language was used last year, there's this, at this time, stating that we need to go ahead and pass it, and we go back and revisit it. We never did. And I feel just like these folks. I am a representative of you, and I feel the same crunch, and I don't like it. And I was in the audience when they did pass this fire assessment fee, and I was against it as well with other 300 people. And I said, something have to be done. We can't keep the level of tax for fire assessment fees that we have. And this time, if we pass this resolution, this time, I want to see us come back and make something real changes as far as cuts. We have to cut it back where people are not feeling the way folk are feeling right now. I'm feeling right now. Because how can we justify it? We say, no, I don't want to go into that because we'll open another can of worms. Sir, I just feel that when you come up here, we said that last time, we didn't get a resolve. We did not take the fire assessment fee back as far as I feel we should be able to. Yeah, we're going to have to make up difference somewhere else. But we'll just have to do that. But I don't think the fire assessment fee is the answer. And it is higher in some cases than irregular taxes. Homeowners. Yes.
Okay,
So,
no, please.
So I want to say that to say, when we do this resolution, make sure that we coming back. It's our responsibility. Make sure this come back for us where we are able to make a deduction.
And just for historical record, we did reduce the fire assessment fee last year.
Yeah.
Just so that's clear.
Is it enough?
That may be a question, but it was reduced last year. That's
Is it
all.
enough? That's the
Well, that may be a
sorry.
question. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, but just a little historical perspective. I mean, again, when we went with the fire fee, it was supposed to be with the intent to just to create, I guess, a balanced budget. Years before coming on the commission, previous administrations, they were strapped. They didn't have 9%, but 9.64% in the reserves. That's not even 2 months reserve. They could not improve infrastructure. Once we looked at some of the things that was in the toolbox, and not continue down the same path with 4 and 5 water main breaks a month, disruptions, water quality, among other things. So what we looked at that was the can was kicked up the road for a little bit. We did a little bit of investigating. Other cities had used that to be able to help them fund different things as it related to balancing their budget, but not depending on that. But so here's where we were and here's where we are now. But prior to 2015, there was no improvement for water lines, zero. Once we implemented the fire fee, that gave us funding that we had in place to be able to start with improvements. We utilized the funds, started out with the CRAs, the areas that already had money, to be able to start expansion, in addition to the funds that we were bringing in to help with where we are today. About 23 miles of pipe been replaced in our city. Prior to over 100 years, no improvement. Go look at the record. Okay, so with that being said, what happened? We had city managers who did not listen to some of the instructions that was given from the dais as it relates to let's scale back and not be dependent upon a consistent, a high fire fee or whatever. So this is where we are, and I've asked the city manager to look into that, and I don't know where she's at right now. I started early, way early before we got to this point now.
Yes.
And so we were supposed to be looking at scaling it back a little bit more than what we did last year, so that we can provide relief to everybody. But again, the city was not in a very good place. The city was we're headed for financial disaster. Previous commission used to borrow $400,000, $300,000, taking it from the Palatka Gas Authority. Look at it; it's in the CAFR. It's all there. We're in a much better place than where we used to be. And again, we're in a place now where we can kind of scale this thing back a little bit, because there's a lot of people taking advantage of the city. A lot of the nonprofits taking 18, 20 properties and different things of that nature off the tax roll. That's where some of the tax money goes. Is going to some of the people who are taking nonprofits who are taking this property off the tax roll. So I don't want to continue to go on and on and on, but that's some of the historical piece we're working on. I'm a big proponent of helping them scale some of this stuff back, because I feel the residents' pain.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
My perspective may be a little different. I wasn't here historically, but I will say this. At the end of the day, the fire department is going to be funded. Not funding it is not an option. The question then becomes, where do we fund it from, right? And so if not the fire assessment fee, where those dollars are directed to that department, it will come from the general fund. Okay. Now, I will say this, to Ms. Kitchen's point, the onus is on the commission as we adopt budgets, right? And we have to be more responsible in how we're allocating the revenues. Ms. Kitchen's made a good point. We just sat here and made this motion to put money in to fund festivals. But we're also asking to reduce the fire fee. The two don't go together. So again, that onus is on us. And we have to consider that. But one of the other things I want to mention about the fire fee, and as I've been reading and understanding this and the impact on the city, Commissioner Borms made a point. Yes, it has benefited the city overall. It is a viable solution to fund our fire department using fire assessment fees. There's some part of that, the requirement of it that is static. I think that's level 2, or what do you call
Tier
it?
2.
Tier 2, right? No matter what the dwelling is that needs to be serviced, everybody, whether you're a big house or a small house or whatever you are, is going to use that amount of resource. Where I hear, I guess the opportunity is with tier 1, which is currently right now, that's where it fluctuates based on the formula that's used to get to the assessed value, to get that amount. I do want to say that to understand the fire assessment fee is, in addition to funding the fire department, there are some other benefits to it that we may not be aware of and take for granted. And one of those is, when I looked at the request from the fire department coming up, we need a new fire truck, right? Or am I saying that right? A fire engine, fire truck.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have the money to buy a fire truck because it costs millions of dollars. However, that will require the city to finance to get that. And one of the other benefits of having this fire assessment fee and the way that we do it is we have a guaranteed or static amount of revenue for our fire department. Remember, if we fund it from general fund, it's dependent upon property taxes, which we know how much we should get, but it doesn't dictate how much we'll get. And so that goes to the city's credit worthiness for, is that, if that's the right word.
It is.
So I do want to make sure we understand everything that happens. When I go around and talk to citizens, and even for me, I want to be safe. We want to make sure we have public safety. I heard don't increase our insurance rates, and we won't talk about insurance rates in the state of Florida, which is crazy. And yes, all of those other items. But we have to consider that while I do hate that in some instances, like we heard before, the amount has grown and grown and grown, the question we have to ask ourselves is, how safe do we want to be? And what are the other things we want to do in this city from our fund? And I take full responsibility, and I am taking it seriously as we're in these budget reviews now, to do things that make sense for the city. And while we just passed something, maybe, I don't know if we're going to have the
Maybe we
money.
have to rethink
We
it.
may have to rethink it, and I'm open to that. But that's the reality of it. So again, there are some people who, some cities, I guess, who abuse this fire tax, right? Usually with the way they are calculating and assessing homeowners. But I will say, looking at it, and not the way we're going about it, seems very equitable to me, based on the formula that's used and how we are calculating the value of what you're assessed on for tier 1. So I just want to put that out there, something to think about. I am in favor of passing this tonight, with the responsibility to carry out what we need to do in reviewing that budget to, one, allocate dollars appropriately, and at that point, seeing if there's an opportunity to decrease possibly tier 1, but we don't know that. And I guess the other question would be, what do we want to give up to do it? Because it's 2025. I know this started in 2015, 10 years. Times have changed, inflation, all these things happen. It costs more to do things in this day and age, unfortunately, but that's the reality of it. And so I think those are questions we have to ask ourselves as we come back with this budget. Thank you.
I agree, and concurrently with the historic perspective, the millage rate, when the fire assessment fee was enacted, the millage rate came down significantly. It was almost at the allowed cap of 10, and it's down to 6.4.
That's correct.
So again, the money has to come from somewhere. So if we reduce the fire assessment fee, again, how we're, do we, would we have to raise the millage rate, or are there other ways we can cut? Whatever happens, we would have to cut. If it's reduced, we have to cut somewhere, whether it's what we spend our money on or whether it's raising the millage rate. It's just all those things will be part of the discussion in the next upcoming budget workshops in August. Go ahead, Commissioner Borm.
No, there's a lot of identified things that is in our general fund budget that could probably be looked at.
Nobody's disputing
So,
that.
yeah, so,
Absolutely.
there's some low hanging fruit that we can really look at to
But
be
it's
able
still-
to
I
address
agree,
that.
But
Yeah.
the fire and like buying a new fire engine, which has to be ordered several years in advance, is a big piece of money.
Right.
And again, that's our public safety at stake.
Can I
Okay,
say
so we have, go
anything?
ahead.
And I wanted to, in response to Commissioner Borm, we did actually perform the analysis that he had asked. One of the things that we discovered, we have about 3,900 parcels that the fire assessment is being based upon, from my recollection, without having it in front of me. And so if we had a goal that every parcel is reduced by $200, just using that would be a decrease of 780,000. So, and that means that currently with the 2.41, which is where we started, even though last year we reduced it to 2.35. Okay, the variable portion, not the fixed part. So we would be at about 2.2 million. So let's just say that if we wanted to give every parcel, owner a reduction in their fire fee assessment, say at the rate of $200, then that would have the impact of lowering the revenue stream in our budget by 780, $800,000. So those are the kinds of analysis that we have already been looking at. We've also been looking also at where would we get this 780 or $800,000 for?
It's some low hanging fruit, but.
Yes, we have combinations of
Right.
approach.
So and then there's another easy one right there too, where people can consolidate if you got multiple properties, okay, you can consolidate those instead of paying the 125 per lot or whatever it is. You consolidate, and then we try to give out as much education as possible to help in that regard, or what have you. So please come in and we can kind of help you with those reductions and among other things. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Davis?
I'm sorry, one other thing I want to mention proactively and hopefully being strategic in what we're doing going forward is there is talk from the governor of eliminating property taxes. So again, I want us to be careful. I don't know where it'll go, but again, that is out there. So understand that is a revenue stream for this city. And I think we have to position ourselves to not put all our eggs in one basket. And so I do just want to remind you of that as well. So I see this also as a proactive approach to at least stabilizing one revenue stream in case we have to look at other things in the future.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you, Judge. Okay, sorry. On to item B, second reading, ordinance 2025-23. An ordinance of the city of Palatka, providing that the official zoning map of the city of Palatka be amended from city of Palatka commercial neighborhood. Page,
Commissioners,
District
for-
C1A. I can just read the parcel number.
Yes, and your
Okay.
burden of proof is, for the sake of consistency, has been printed up for you.
Okay, parcel number 12-10-2820-0010-0030.
Madam Mayor,
Mr.
Commissioners, regretfully, I have to ask for a continuance of this item. The ordinance that would change the future land use map. It's not included in your package. And we cannot do the rezoning without the future land use amendment first.
No worries, sir. I'll make a motion that we could, that we continue this into, do we need to do a time certain?
I'm sorry, a date.
Yeah, for the next meeting,
To our
August
next
28th.
meeting,
And I
which is
apologize to
August
the applicant who's here.
August 28th.
We have a motion and a second. Anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we close public comment. All in favor?
Sorry.
Come on up, and
Sorry,
you've got a slew of cards to fill out. That's okay.
I mean, this is the reality that's really happening. And so the same way how he just mentioned, public land, future land use,
Mhm.
okay? Keywords. Same thing needs to happen for Kelly Smith School before they go ahead and move forward with that. Because
Thank
this
you.
is exactly the issue, right? It's being hidden. And also I'd like to make a suggestion as far as the fire tax.
Well,
as
we
far-
were on this.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry,
no,
sir.
it's just a little suggestion, you know, it's just
Sorry, sir.
strategically,
It's not. the
right?
appropriate
Because
It's
time,
not
sir.
appropriate.
Oh, okay, not appropriate,
Thank
okay,
you.
no problem.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion, a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Ordinance 2025-24. The parcel number. So we've got the, in ordinance the city of Palatka file providing the future land use map of the adopted comprehensive plan be amended with respect to the following parcel of less than 50 acres in size from city residential R high to RH to city of Palatka Conservation District. And it's got the whole book, not just a parcel number. For the following property, Dick's map of Palatka, and do you want me to read all of this, ma'am?
Does she have to read
The whole,
title?
the whole book
Just the,
description?
no, do not read the legal, just the.
Thank you.
parcel.
Parcel 42-10-27-6850-1460-0083.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Ordinance 2025-24 and 2025-25 relate to the same parcel of land
Okay.
owned by the city. We are doing some sort of a corrective amendment to it. It requires a future land use amendment and also rezoning. Currently is zone R3, which is high residential density. And the parcel plays a very important role in the natural drainage of the area and the region. And we felt that it was more appropriate to have it rezoned to conservation, and that will protect this piece of land. So we did review for the standard for the future land use amendment and for the rezoning, and we are recommending approval. The planning board also reviewed these items and they recommended approval as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Mr. Gama? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
What are we approving, C or
They
C?
were both together, I thought.
Yes, that's why I want just one clarification. Okay, we have a motion is second. We have, I'm gonna open the floor to public comment. Ms. Kitchens, you have a card for public comment on this item. We're on item C and D. Yes, please.
All I want to say to you is what I said before at the meeting. And if you look at your LiDAR map that's in your packet, I was stunned when I saw it. I've been telling you all how important Osceola Creek is for draining the whole hill area of Palatka. I about dropped my teeth when I saw this map because Osceola Creek is way bigger than what you see. It goes under Creel Avenue, totally underground. And you can see, if you look at the dark, if you block this ravine, or you allow the development of Florida Furniture to block this ravine, or you allow it to be developed, the whole hill area is going to flood all the way past Hank Bryan Park. It's going to be a major disaster. That creek also drains all that 399 acres into the Wilson Cypress area.
What, 1 minute.
It's very vital that you make that a
Can we get the
conservation.
LiDAR map put up?
Excuse
It's a
us, 1 minute,
separate
Ms.
document.
Kitchens.
Yeah,
I just would like,
it's this one that's in
no,
your
I
packet.
know, I would like for,
But it's very important if you
it's
look
a
at it.
separate document.
But it's very important
there.
that you preserve that you preserve this as a conservation easement for Osceola Creek. I'm not going to speak on the other stuff about all the others because it's all related. So I'm making a blanket statement about Osceola Creek. I'll also make a blanket statement about changing the zoning on the cemetery property. That's important also, so I don't have to get up and speak again. I know y'all tired of me and I'm tired of me. But look at that map. That's Osceola Creek. You block that ravine, you block that. Think about it. What happens when you dam up a river? You don't dam up Osceola Creek, pass the conservation easement, please, and thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody else here for public comment on this item? Being no one close public comment, is there any further discussion? We have a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to item E, ordinance 2025-26. Let's see, parcel number 42-10, 276850, 1460, 0081. And F is also tied to that as well.
That is correct. And this is a small parcel. It's part of the same parcel, but they have two legal descriptions. And that's the reason you have separate ordinances, but they're both related. 25, 26 and 25, 27 are related to the same parcel. And we also have reviewed this against the comp plan and the rezoning standards. I was reviewed by the planning board. They recommended approval and staff recommended approval as well.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Gamo? Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? Ms.
Mo-
Kitchens has already done that.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to G. Didn't I just do G? I said something familiar. Am I- No, I didn't. Okay, on to item number G. I'm sorry, on to letter G rather. Ordinance number 2025-28 and also ordinance number 2025-29. Property parcel number 42-10-2850-1510-0000. Mr. Agama.
Yes, this basically is a corrective amendment. I was left out a little portion of the cemetery. It's a little triangle and still has a zoning district of R3. So we are correcting the designation and also changing the future land use amendment. So they're both related, 2025-28 and 2025-29 affect the same parcel of land. We recommended approval as well as the planning board also recommended approval.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Gama? I'm going to open the floor to public comment. Is there anybody here for public comment on items 9G and H? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to a second.
Second.
We have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to 9I, ordinance number 25-23. And ordinance number, the next 31, sorry. So those are the only two tied together, and ordinance 33 also?
There are actually
That's
three
usually-
ordinance related to this amendment.
Okay.
This request is the annexation, the change to the future land use amendment, and the rezoning.
Okay, and I'll read the parcel number 16-10-26-0000, 0240-0013. Go ahead, Mr. Ogama.
Yeah, this basically is just a request for annexation, a voluntary annexation request by the school board. We have the representative here who might want to answer any question you might have. We have reviewed the annexation. It's consistent with the Florida statute. We also reviewed the future land use amendment and the rezoning. It meets all our criteria standards. Planning board reviewed this and recommended approval. And we also, staff also recommends approval of the three ordinances.
Okay, any questions of Mr. Gama? Would you like the representative to come up and have any questions of Mr. Holmes? No? Okay, thank you. Is anybody here for public comment on this item? Gentleman left. Seeing no public comment, we'll close public comment. Do we have a motion to approve? Question?
Move to
No,
approve.
let me ask,
Oh,
for-
yes.
may I ask for clarity,
Okay. Go ahead.
just so that the record reflect, I am a employee
Mhm.
of the Putnam County School District. So I just want to make sure that's one out there, but two, Am I okay to vote on this, or do I need to recuse myself?
You are not receiving any sort of direct or indirect pecuniary gain as a result of this particular ordinance.
I just wanted. to
And that
make sure.
applies to Commissioner Borum as well.
Correct.
Yes, I mean, I
Yeah.
knew I wasn't receiving any
I just wanted to
direct.
put that out.
That's out there for the
To
public.
clear out.
Right,
No,
but yeah, I'm.
very
I
much
was-
appreciated the transparency. Thank you.
Yes. I think it's-
Move to approve.
Second.
No sidebars.
Oh.
We have a motion. and We have a
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. We're on to,
Ordinance 25,
yeah,
34.
25, 34, 25, 34. And the parcel number is 16-10-26-0000-0200-0000. Mr. Agamo.
Yes, again, Madam Mayor, ordinance 2534 and 2535 and 2536 are related to the same parcel.
Okay.
It's a request for a voluntary annexation of a parcel adjacent to the Kelly's school, and the change the future land use to assign a city land use and also a zoning district from the city. Planning board reviewed this request, recommended approval. Staff also review and provided a technical analysis as part of your package, and we also recommended approval.
Thank you. Is there any questions of Mr. Agamo on this?
How much acreage is that, Mr. Gumbo?
I mean, acres, 9.99.
9.9.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we close public comment. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. We're on to ordinance number 2025-37, 2538, 2539 are all tied to the same property parcel, and the parcel number is 02-10-26-000-0420-0000. Mr. O'Connell.
Yeah, that is correct. This is basically to annex a parcel of land. It's about 16.72 acres. The annexing for the purpose of proposing a development, residential development on the parcel, and to obtain city water services and sewer. We have, originally the application was for a townhouse development. It was over 170 units, I believe. Since then, since the planning board meeting, the applicant has reviewed and revised the application. And now it's going to be a single family home consistent, I believe, of 79 single family homes. So the density, the intensity of use has been greatly reduced. The impact also has been greatly reduced. We think it's a good project for the city. The applicant is here and he would like maybe make a presentation. I know he has a PowerPoint presentation, but I don't know where you want to see or not. This is the first reading. Planning board did review, and when we took it to the planning board, there were some conditions that we attached to the staff recommendation. And I want to point it out that those conditions have since been met by the applicant. He did submit all the documents. Today, I received the revised development agreement. I'm going to be reviewing that development agreement, probably, making some suggestions, some changes. So when I bring it back to you for the second reading, you're going to have a final document.
Thank you.
We are recommending approval on the 3 items that is in front of you today.
Okay, and does developer want to come and share any more information, or does the commission want that to happen? What would you like to do? No response?
Well, I mean,
He's here
If
and
he-
they
if he
came
wants
here,
to
and that's
come
what
up
I'm
and-
thinking. We should at least be
we want to hear
respectful
from him.
and hear from them. Hi, could you
Good
please
evening,
give
Ms.
us your
Mayor.
name?
Matt Lottie, Gulfstream Design Group, 2225 818 South, St. Augustine, Florida. I know you guys have had a long night. Lorenzo did a great job with the staff report. We do have a PowerPoint. We can present that at second reading if you'd like. But as he mentioned, this parcel is directly to the west of Lowe's, has city utilities, and we're looking to develop single-family homes there. So,
We all have a copy. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. I'm going to open the floor to public comment on this item. Is there anybody here for public comment on these particular ordinances on the property at 0 Moody Road? Seeing none, we close public comment. We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Commissioner comment.
Thank you.
Or anybody have any
Yeah.
comment?
Well, I mean, if you want to go, I don't know if that'll go on the line or whatever.
Commissioner Davis. Okay, Commissioner Campbell.
I have the time to do where we'll.
Okay, Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Forum.
Okay, well, just a quick update. I did have a chance to attend the Palatka Housing Authority Residents Appreciation Day. It was a very, very good event. First time ever them having that. I know the residents of the Palatka Housing Authority really appreciate that. Very nice turnout, number of vendors and community. They showed up big and they had we commend, well, we wish that everybody come next year if they can make it. Just please see if you can make it. I also attended the North Side Improvement Team put on by the Recreation Department with Mr. Cutright, Director Cutright, as well as Reno Fells, and we had a pretty decent turnout there in terms of moving forward with from North Fifth Street on out to North 24th Street, as it relates to planting the seed and improving that community from that area. So there'll be more to come. We had exceptional 25 students there, and they showed up big. And again, we commended them for being there for some our future leaders. Other than that, I want to just thank the staff for a very wonderful job that everybody always do. And the commission for our service. And again, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
Just one quick thing. I want to say kudos to the staff. If you haven't noticed our new chairs with cushions
And our new.
and our new fans
We
and
have fans.
clock. And the clock is correct, right? So I do want to thank the staff for all the hard work that you do. And so we appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And welcome, Ms. Pierre. We are very happy to have you.
Yes.
In case you haven't noticed, I know you already hit the ground running.
With that said, do we have a motion to adjourn? Okay, thank you all. Thank you. It's been fun. Gotta go.